All stations, 5 minutes to count down. All stations, 5 minutes to count down.
Okay, stations, we will come to you in 10 seconds. 10 seconds starting in 3 seconds time. And here's the start of the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome here to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, and it's nice sunny conditions at the moment. The pitch looks in good condition, and the crowd is coming in. We've got a pretty good crowd, and I think it's going to build as this game gets going. It's difficult for me to ascertain just how many people are in at this point in time, but maybe in the vicinity of 5,000 possibly. at the moment. I was hoping that we'd have got a little bit more, maybe somewhere in the vicinity of 8,000-9,000, but still a good crowd for a Friday morning. And it's, of course, it's the first T20 International between the West Indies and India. The toss has already been taken. West Indies, they have won the toss and they've inserted India. Nicholas Puran feels there's a little bit of moisture in the pitch, and maybe, just maybe, it's going to help the faster bowlers in the first few overs. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm Colin Murray alongside Vidya Ramphal. Vidya, firstly, Nicholas Puran winning the toss. The pitch looks good, but he reckons there's some preparation moisture in it, and just maybe the opening bowlers may get some help from it. Good morning to you, and of course to all our listeners throughout the region.
Well, good morning to all. Nicholas Puran, winning the toss. So this is good for him. He lost all of them during the Bangladesh series and was unable to get a win there. I would have thought he would have batted here. This Brian Lara Cricket Academy field, the scoring rate here is 7.40, and there have been 31 CPL matches being played at this particular venue, and it has an outstanding scoring rate.
So the national anthem there of Trinidad and Tobago and India. And now we're going to hear the West Indies anthem. Of course, the rally anthem sung by David Michael Rudder, that over the years has become the anthem of the West Indies cricket team. So the rallying cry there from David Michael Rudder that when the West Indies are down, you hear that a lot in the party stand. Quickly, let's give you the lineup for the West Indies. Nicholas Pooran is, of course, leading the team. There's Sharma Brooks. Shimron Hetmeyer is making a comeback. Odin Paul, Rovman Powell, Jason Holder, Obed McCoy is in the team. Akil Hussain and Alzari Joseph is making his debut at T20 Internationals. Vid, you want to give us the Indian team?
Well, the Indian team, and we have in front of us here the Indians have gone. Of course, Rohit Sharma, the captain. Rishabh Pant is the wicketkeeper, and those two will be opening the innings. Shreyas Iyer is padded up to come in at 3. Surya Kumar Yadav, who've leapt 44 places in the world rankings recently, he is in at 4. Hardik Pandya is the vice captain. Dinesh Karthik, Ravindra Jadeja, after missing the ODI series, is back in. Ravi Bishnoi, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Ravichandran Ashwin, and Arshdeep Singh, and certainly this is a formidable Indian team.
It's a stronger team, I reckon, than the ODI team. Because when you look at Sharma, Pant, Pandey, Ashwin, Kumar, I mean, just those 5 names alone, you'll have to think that the West Indies players will have to sit up and take note of those names.
Yeah, certainly. When you mention names like that, it's like the difference between falling off the 16th and the 15th floor. Both of them will kill you. They're lethal. So
let me come back there, because I think you have been kind. 15th and 16th. I would have said between the 15th and 20th, because this Indian team is very formidable. And I tell you, I am not too disturbed by Nicholas Pooran winning the toss and sending the opposition in. I don't think he's going to get very much out of the pitch, because the pitch really looks to be a good one. If it does have early moisture, maybe a couple of overs, but I don't think it's going to sustain any type of movement and bounce and that type of thing. So, you know, it's a matter, I think, of them trying to restrict this Indian lineup, maybe 140 or thereabouts, and try to chase it down.
Yes, certainly. That would certainly be what Pooran was talking about. Now, at the toss, he also mentioned the wind. There's a strong crosswind here from left to right, as we are looking from east to west, of course, and you really have to protect that boundary on the right side. That's the western side of the field. So the danger end really is this end we're looking at, from the northern end. If you're bowling from this end, batters tend to target this area on the leg side away to our right.
The thing is, India, they've only come in with 2 seamers and 3 spinners. So is it a situation you think they reckon that this pitch may favor the spinners over the seamers?
Yeah, I think that's a distinct possibility. Seamers and spinners have taken wickets here. It's always help for the bowlers. What's going to be interesting here is that they've started out with Obed McCoy, who is going to be bowling from this end. He gets the ball to dip in sharply towards the right-handers, and with the wind coming from left to right, it would certainly accentuate that.
Well, the players are taking a knee. Vidya, there's a four-legged creature just moving towards a backward point for Obed McCoy. So West Indies at the moment, they've got 12 on the field. So let's hope that that creature finds his way off, and maybe somebody puts him out of the ground. But he's taking cover. He's going beyond the boundary now, so he's probably going to sit up and have a little snooze and watch the game.
Well, I doubt he has a ticket or a vaccination card.
Yes, he's not wearing a mask either. But we're just about getting set here for the first ball of the first T20 International between West Indies and India. Rohit Sharma is the man is going to take a first strike, and he waits on McCoy, who is left arm over the wicket. This one coming into him. You could see the exaggerated movement from outside the line of the off stump and angling back into the right-hander. And there is no run. Score remains, well, no run from the first delivery, so 0 for 0. I'm looking at the scoreboard here at the Brian Lara Academy. Yadav is the man opening with Sharma and not Rishabh Pant. So I'm a little surprised at that. But
yeah, Pant was actually padded up.
Down to come in. Yeah. Maybe he may come at number 3. Here's Obed McCoy into Sharman. He's looking to tuck this delivery off the pad. It's him somewhere high up on that thigh pad, maybe, as he was looking to turn it backward of a square. There is no run. There's 6 men on the offside. So there's a slip, third man, a point, cover, mid-off. So on the onside, so that's like 4, 5. So there are 4 actually on the onside. Let's just have a look. Yeah, and then of course there's that mid-off. So 6 on the off, and then just 3 on the on. There's a mid-on, I would say more of a squarish mid-wicket or a forward square leg, and a man down at the fine leg position. Here's McCoy into Sharman. He opens the face, guides it down towards third man, and they're going to get an easy single. So 1 to the total as McCoy makes his way back to the top of his mark. He's going to come into bowl now to Yadav.
Yeah, Yadav mentioned in the opening that he moved up 44 places in the world rankings, and that was because of that amazing 117 he got against England. He's had 450s and 100 in 17 innings, so he is a man on the move. Surya Kumar Yadav, the 31-year-old out of Mumbai.
He didn't have a good ODI series. You know, he's
very scratchy.
Played on a couple times, so he'll be looking to correct that here in the T20 format. Here's McCoy into Yadav, and this one he's looking to maybe run it down to third man. Not a good shot, because that ball should have been back and across and just pushing it out to cover, but he was looking to open the face, beat the outside edge, and you hear the shout of this crowd. So this crowd very much into this game already from the first over.
Yeah, they certainly are. Yadav averages 38.35. He has a strike rate of 177.22. That is a lot of runs he can get if he stays in there for some time. But that's been the problem for him, not being able to stay in long enough.
Well, he settles again. He waits on McCoy, who runs away from us at the commentary position. This delivery angled into the right-hander, and it's hit between between mid-on and that square leg position, forward square leg. It was not a good delivery. It was full. It had some movement, but by the time it got to Yadav, he got it on the full, and all he had to do was really place it to the right of Hetmeyer down to the boundary for 4. So he's off and running. It's now 5 for none.
Yeah, whippy shot, wasn't that? The lovely flick of the wrist, and perfectly placed between Puran and Smith, Smith is at that mid-wicket position. Nobody was going to stop that.
Well, he's come a little bit more towards mid-wicket. He was at I would thought maybe of a squarish mid-wicket or a forward square leg, but he's now come to that orthodox mid-wicket position as the final delivery from McCoy is pushed back up along the track from Yadav, and it's the end of the over. 5 runs coming from it. A pretty good over, Vidya, outside of that ball, that you could see him. He was looking for some movement. He was getting the movement. He was trying to take it up to the batsman, but on that occasion, it was a little too full.
Yeah, it was too full, and it was dispatched by Yadav with some ease. Now they've started with McCoy at one end. It looks like is that Jason Holder?
Yeah, it is Jason Holder. Or is it? Let me see. Yes, it is Jason Holder. You were thinking it might have been Alzari Joseph.
Yeah, Alzari Joseph was marking off his run-up, but from the northern end earlier. So I know he's making his T20 debut, of course, today.
So it is going to be Holder, and he's operating from the far end as he's on his way to bowl to the right-handed Indian skipper. And this one he's hitting high, over, long off. Oh, that's a beauty from Rohit Sharma. It was pitched up to him, and all he did was really play through the line, and he lifted it majestically high, over, mid-off, past where if there was a long off, there's none, and that ball just sailed into the crowd, and that's a wonderful looking shot. And he says to Jason Holder, well, welcome to the first T20 game.
A man who has 10 centuries in T20 cricket, you can see why.
11 for none as Holder is into him. This time he's opening the face and guides it down to third man. He looks so composed, Vidya, so calm, so collected in his batting. Doesn't look flustered at all.
No, he doesn't. And when you look at his record, amazing record in T20 International, 32.18 in T20s in general, 31.28. But either you tend to see players excel at the T20 level, but not at the international level, where it's the opposite with Rohit Sharma. He really turns it on at international level.
Well, he's at the non-strikers end as Yadav is going to take strike from Jason Holder. Holder started his run and realized that Yadav wasn't ready, so he turns at the top of his mark. He starts to come in. 6 men on the off, 3 on the on, as he bowls to Yadav, and this is short, outside the off stump. Cut away! 4 runs! It didn't have the room to play that shot, but it was just wide enough for him to just open the face of the bat. It had the placement, which was the important thing. Didn't have all that much power, but still he got it to the right of the man at cover point in Hetmeyer, and to the left of Odean Smith, who is at an extra cover, and down to the boundary for 4. So Holder already 11 runs from his first 3 deliveries, and he's asking Odean Smith to go all the way back to the deep square position. Is he going to bring up the third man? Yes, he's going to bring up the third man to a short third man. So he's got a short third man, a backward point, square cover out on the boundary. Then he's got the orthodox cover, an extra cover mid-off. So that's 6 on the offside. He's asking the man at the cover position to come in a few meters. Then on the onside, he's got that mid-on, a deep square leg and a short fine leg. So Holder coming in for some punishment from his first 3 deliveries. Starts his run in to bowl to Yadav. He's with him now, and this time he's hitting it in the air, but safely towards where a forward square leg would be. There is none, and Ruffman Powell, who is out at that deep square leg position, has to run in to do the fielding, but not before the batsman can get a single. 13, 17 now for none. Yadav is on to 9, brings Sharma back into strike. He's on 8.
Yeah, he is. Well, that last delivery, it was played uppishly in that mid-wicket position. There was nobody there, so just an easy push to get the single, and he trots down to the other end. But you really feel, despite the form of Yadav, Rohit is going to be the danger man today.
Well, he settles and waits on Holder, who is with him, and this time he opens the face of the bat and just guides it sweetly down to Odean Smith, who is at that deep cover position right out on the boundary, very square. And they amble through for the single. 18 for none. Both batsmen now on 9. You know, the thing with Rohit Sharma, he looks so graceful, doesn't he? I mean, I have rarely video over the years see him hustle to play a shot, even a Yorker.
Yeah, he just seems to have so much time. His initial movement is back and across, so that just gives him that extra bit of time, but he just seems to make it look awfully so easy this game.
Well, Holder into Yadav, just outside the line of the leg stump. He tried to paddle it past the short fine leg, didn't make contact, went through to Puran, but signaled a wide by the umpire. This has been turning out to be a pretty expensive over. 14 runs so far in the over.
It is already 31 CPL games have been played here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. The scoring rate tends to be 7.40. That's the average scoring rate. India already way beyond that.
Well, this is Holder into Yadav, and he cuts it down to Odean Smith, so they're just going to pick up this single. So 1 more to the total, 20 for none now after just 2 overs. Jason Holder going for 15 runs from his first over, and let's see, is it going to be Obed McCoy to continue, or is Nicholas Puran going to just maybe mix it up a little bit with his bowlers? I'm seeing Akil Hussain. Yeah, Akil Hussain is marking out his run, so he's replaced Obed McCoy after just 1 over. Good move, Vidya.
Yeah, you tend to see this in the early overs. They tend to bring in all of the bowlers to get maybe an over or 2 early in the power play. But Hussain usually bowls during this period. He's very good in the power play. He's made his reputation on how good he has been in this period of the game, which has been very important for the West Indies.
So it's going to be Yadav in strike. He's on 10. Sharma is on 9. He's at the non-strikers end. Let's have a look at the field for Akil Hussain. He's going to operate wrong the wicket. There's a backward point, cover, extra cover, a long off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, a deep backward square leg, and a man at short fine leg. As Akil Hussain, with his first delivery in this, the first T20 International between West Indies and India, and Sharma hits it in the air, and it's dropped. Oh my word, that could be costly. But Yadav, is dropped. Now he used his feet, and for one moment I thought he was going to try to go over the extra cover. Didn't get enough on that, and it went just to the left of that man there. Is that let's see, Mears? Yeah, it is Kyle Mears at that short extra cover. He dived to his left and he wasn't able to hold on to it. Here's Akil Hussain into Yadav, and he's hitting this in the air, and he's going to survive that one as well. He was looking to play a sweet shot, played it a little too early. It seemed to have come off the bottom of the bat, went high or in the air. It went beyond Akil Hussain. He turned and was running back, and the man at mid-on, he was running in to take the catch. Who is that?
McCoy.
Mid-on?
McCoy is there.
Yeah, that's Obed McCoy at mid-on. He was running in, and the ball fell agonizingly between both of them. Here's Hussain into Yadav, and Yadav looking to turn a ball. So this has been 3 really good deliveries, because Yadav was going to turn that ball. Could have easily got a bit of a leading edge, but it went back along the ground, up onto the pitch, really, back on the ground, right up to Hussain. No run. This is Hussain. This has been a good first 3 balls. This is a little short, and Yadav is on the back foot, and Mears dives full length to his left, partially stops it. That's a good stop. It would have certainly gone to the boundary had he not been able to stop that, but that's a good stop. Makes up a little bit for the catch he put down, and Kimo Paul had to actually give chase after that, and the batsman crossed for a single. Yadav on to 11. Sharma, he is on 9. 21 for none. There's a change in the field. The man at, let's see, at mid-on is going across to mid-off, and the man at long-off, he's going across to a long-on. So they actually think if Sharma is going to go over the top, he's going to go more to the leg side. We'll have to wait and see. Just 1 run so far from the first 4 deliveries as Akil Hussain into Sharma, and Sharma plays this out to mid-wicket. This has been a very good over, Vidya.
Very good, and certainly Akil Hussain was the ideal choice from this end. This is the danger end, and to have the left armer turning it away from these 2 right-handers, perfect thinking here from the West Indies.
Well, he's round the wicket with the final delivery. Can he finish well? Is into Sharma, and Sharma is paddle sweeping. That's going to run away. It's going to the boundary, and it hits the boards now. So the final delivery, he's given away a 4, but still it has been a good over. 5 runs coming from this over. We've now seen 3 overs have been bowled. It's 25 for none. India having been put into bat by the West Indies, and they've made a very good start. 8 runs per over.
Yeah, they certainly have made a good start. The West Indies trying 3 different bowlers in the piece already, and it looks like they will be going for a 4th different bowler. It is going to be Alzari Joseph making his T20 debut, and almost like a Hollywood movie where you tend to see all the characters appearing in the first 10 minutes, we're seeing 4 of the West Indies bowlers here.
That's right. Yeah, well, it is going to be Alzari Joseph, as you rightly said, making his debut at T20 Internationals, and 5 men on the offside. So we're looking at, let's see, there is a short third man, backward point, square cover out on the boundary, extra cover mid-off, a wideish mid-on, a mid-wicket, a deep square leg, and a short fine leg. Here's Alzari Joseph with his first delivery to Yadav, and Yadav plays it square on the offside. They've gone for 1. He's coming back for the second. Odin Smith sends the throw in, but they get 2 runs comfortably in the end. I was a little short outside the line of the off stump. It gave him the room in which to play that square drive, and he was able to pick up 2 runs. The score goes to 27 now for none. Both batsmen on 13.
Alzari Joseph might be playing his first T20 International, but in terms of T20s, he's played 47 games already, 48 wickets, an average of just over, in fact, 29. But his economy rate has been the issue, 8.90. That's been one of the issues as to why he hasn't been able to make it into the West Indies team. What the extra pace he's been able to get over the last few months, he might be a different proposition, though.
And you think that's his strength, basically, the little extra pace that
that's
he's
right.
got. Here is Alzari Joseph. Into Yadav, he swings this one. High in there, that's gone for 6. Well, he just stood there, and he sort of paddled it. But it came off the middle of the bat, and went high over the fine leg position for 6. That was a very strange shot, because for one moment I thought that ball was just going straight up in the air, but it was almost like he got right across and just paddled it high over fine leg for 6. I tell you what, it looked a strange shot, but it was very effective.
That is the shot of a man who is really enjoying his time in T20 cricket. After that 100 against the India, his confidence is sky high.
33 for none. We are into over number 4, Alzari Joseph. This one he may have got the edge because he wasn't to cut it. And is it signal biased by the umpire? I think it has been, but it was short. It was outside the line of the off stump, and Yadav was looking to cut it. Didn't make contact, and that ball flew over the head of Nicholas Puran down to the boundary for 4, signal buys. So Yadav remains on 19, Sharma is on 13. It's 37 for none, 9 runs and over so far. Vidya?
Bit of extra pace there, and I tell you what, India have been going along at 9 and over for all of their matches for this year in T20 cricket.
Here is Joseph into Yadav. He opens the face, guides it out to the deep point position, picks up a single. One more to the total, 38 for none. Yadav is on to 20. Brings Sharma, who's on 13, back in strike. Your thoughts on the wicket so far, on the pitch?
It has been great so far. The bounce is perfect. There's a little bit of help for the bowlers, but you can hit through the line here, and batsmen of the quality of Sharma and Yadav have been able to do that well. India in 2022 have played 18 matches. They won 14 out of those, and their runs for over 9.31. So this is not out of character in terms of what they've done.
Here's Joseph into Sharma, and Sharma of delivery short, lifting, and he was you could see him at first looking to get on the back foot and realize that ball was just back of a leg but coming into him, and didn't have the room in which to play that expansive drive that he normally does. So all he did was to get on top of it, pushed it out gently on the offside, and through they went for the single. 39 for none. Sharma is on to 14, brings Yadav back into strike. He is on 20. One delivery left in this over from Alzari Joseph. Just about over 9 runs and over at this point in time, heading up towards 10. And if they maintain this, well, it can be somewhere in the vicinity of 200. This delivery, he's cutting over the head of Puran down to the boundary for 4. Yadav, this was short. It was rising. He just stood there and he cut it. He uppercut it over the head of Nicholas Puran down to the boundary for 4. So Alzari Joseph has now completed his first over, 14 runs coming from it. It's 24 to Yadav, 14 to Sharma. It's 43 for none after 4 overs, nearly 11 runs and over. Alzari Joseph, Vidya, in my view, I don't know about you, but a little bit too short.
Yeah, much too short. One going for 4 buys, the other one just an edge flying over the head of Nicholas Puran for 4. Yeah, he's had the extra pace, but that's what the extra pace brings too. Once you get any sort of contact on it, as we saw with that 6,
and
it's just going to fly away.
If you get with as well, Vidya, and he's giving them with.
And he's giving them everything here, and the Indians are enjoying themselves.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
well, here's Akil Hussain with his second over. He's been the only one so far, and Obed McCoy. Both of their overs, they've conceded 5 runs. So when you think of McCoy and Hussain conceding 10, Holder and Joseph, they have conceded a 33 basically from the other end. This is Hussain with his second delivery. The first ball, a dot ball, as Sharma waits on him, and Sharma on the front foot. They're thinking of the single. It's not on, as hustling in there was Kimo Paul sends the return quickly to Akil Hussain, and no run. So 5 men on the offside, all inside that circle from a backward point to a mid-off. Then on the onside, there's that long on and the deep square leg. They are the 2 men out at the moment. There's also a short fine leg and a mid-wicket. Here's Akil Hussain round the wicket to Sharma, and Sharma is turning this one down to the deep backward square, and they're getting no runs. We are already seeing, Vidya, that the spinners, the ball not coming onto the bat, they could create the problems.
Yeah, they certainly are, and he's getting a bit of turn also. So, and to the right-handers, that's ideal for him. He's pitching it in just the right areas, so they can't get back and cut. There is not full enough for them to drive on the offside. The only option there for Rohit Sharma is just to try to tuck it round the corner. We saw the sweep come out in the last over. Those have been the only options for him so far.
44 for none. Yadav is on 24, faces up to Akil Hussain in his second over. Bowling to the right-handed Yadav, and he's hitting it in the air, but a simple catch, and Akil Hussain has done the trick. Yadav walks down, looks at the track, but he was looking to flick this, got the leading edge, and a very simple catch to Jason Holder at backward point. And India, they lose their first wicket. Yadav goes back to the pavilion, court Holder, bowled Hussain for 24, and you have to say a wicket that Akil Hussain Vidya thoroughly deserved.
Yes, he certainly did deserve that one. Akil Hussain, 6 runs off the first 10 deliveries and taking the wicket. The top wicket taker for the West Indies in ODI cricket for the year and globally also. And you can see why this man's stock has risen over the last year since he's made his debut for the West Indies. And the thing about him is mentally very strong. He holds his nerve. He's seen the chaos around him at the other end where the ball is flying every place, and he's able to still get the ball in the same areas to trouble the batsman. Excellent bowling by Akil Hussain.
Absolutely wonderful bowling, as you rightly said. He's bowled 10 deliveries so far. He's just conceded 6 runs, and he deserved this wicket because Yadav was put down by Kyle Mears. A difficult catch low down to his left that he was diving at an extra cover, and he put it down. And then the next delivery, he was looking to flick and got more of a leading edge and went over the head of Hussain and dropped between him and the man Obed McCoy at mid-on. So he had his fair share of luck, but here it ran out as he was looking to work this delivery on the onside, got the leading edge, and a very simple catch by Jason Holder at that point position, and it was the end of Yadav. He goes back to the pavilion. The man replacing him is Iyer, and he's going to take his he's going to take his first delivery from Hussain, as Hussain is into him and he's on the front foot in defense, pushing this out on the offside, and Kimo Paul is there doing the fielding. There's a slip in place now for Akil Hussain. There's that slip, there's a backward point, cover, extra cover. It's a long off on the offside. Here is Hussain round the wicket to Ayan. This time he's looking to drive, but delivery just made a little bit of height and hit on high up on the bat, goes out on the offside. There is no run. It's the end of over number 5. At the end of it, Sharma is 15. Iyer yet to get off the mark. The man back in the pavilion already, Yadav, went court holder of the bowling of Hussain for 24. After some more comments, yeah, so it's 44 for 1, as I said, Vidya. You may very well want to comment on that dismissal of Yadav.
Yeah, Yadav, and that's what Akil Hussain. The thing is with Akil Hussain, he's so accurate with that ball turning away from the right-hander. Yadav, as Rohit would have tried to do, just turning it onto the onside. He just didn't have the room to play the cut shot or to get that foot forward to get the drive in, and he perished trying to go against the spin. Easy catch for Holder. Another bowling change coming.
Well, it's another bowling change from the far end. And wrong the wicket. Let's see. It is Obed McCoy, so he's back in the attack. But he's in his second over, Yorker length delivery. That's a good delivery. And Rohit Sharma had to come down on it and pushed it out in front of him on the onside, and there's no run. That's a good delivery. So Nicholas Pooran obviously may be thinking of Obed McCoy to probably get another wicket and put the Indians under a little bit of pressure.
He also brings that sense of control also, because he's been one of the form bowlers for the West Indies over the last 12 months or so, outside of that period of injury, of course.
Well, he's on his way to bowl to Sharma, and this is a full toss. Sharma doesn't make use of it. For once, he was driving it, but straight out to Holder at mid-off, and there's no run. Well, you don't regularly see that video where a full toss bowled to Rohit Sharma is not punished.
Yeah, he's very ruthless with those types of deliveries. But that time, such a narrow gap between the extra cover and the mid-off, he couldn't pick it this time.
Well, as McCoy starts to run in, the ball slips out of his hand. In the old days, the batsman could have run that ball down and hit it where almost golf-type shot, Vidya. And nowadays, it's immediately called a dead ball. But I remember in playing where the ball slips out the bowler's hand and goes out to cover, and you just say, okay, mine, the batsman. The batsman just says mine and goes out and hits it. Here's McCoy into Sharma, and he's looking to turn a delivery. They're going to get a single. That's good running on the part of Sharma. He was looking to turn the ball on the onside, got a little bit of a leading edge, and it was trickling out towards mid-off, and immediately Sharma realized that that ball was going very slowly towards Holder at mid-off, and they went through for the single. Total goes to 45 for 1. So it's over the last 9 deliveries, things have quietened down quite a lot.
Yes, and it's been because of Akil Hussain. He's brought that measure of control back for Puran.
Well, here is McCoy into, that's a good delivery, beats Iyer outside the line of the off stump. Pitch may have just hit the seam, straightened, and Iyer didn't know very much about it. He was pushing at it, missed, and the ball went through to be taken by the wicket keeper. He goes down the track, does a little bit of gardening, but that was a very, very good delivery.
They brought back in a slip. The slip was that first slip. Now they've gone to maybe a second or third slip here for Iyer. 2 50s and a 40 in the ODI series. He's in form.
Well, here's McCoy into him, the right-hander, and he's gone! He's gone! A lovely catch there by Akil Hussain. We were talking, you just mentioned about that position. It was not even a short third man. He had come up a little bit looking for that catch. And I would say maybe a second, third slip, but it was deep, and Iyer was looking to flick it, got the outside edge, and it was taken low down to Akil Hussain's left. Now he is left-handed, and he's picked up a wonderful catch. Iyer makes his way back to the pavilion, caught Hussain, ball McCoy for 4, and all of a sudden, India, they were 44 for none at one stage, and all of a sudden they are now 45 for 2.
And it's down to Hussain with his bowling in the last over, creating the pressure situation, getting the wicket of Yadav, and now you can't keep him out of the game. The Queen's Park man diving away to his left. That was a really good catch. Yes, it was to his strong side, his left side, but that would have gone maybe to a second slip, a good 6 to 8 feet away from him.
Interesting field position, isn't it?
It was.
Because he was not back on the edge of the circle like a short third man. He had actually come in, so he was looking for that. They were actually played for that outside edge, that thick outside edge, and it came to the left of Akil Hussain, as you mentioned. It was, yes, it is his strong hand, but it was low down. The ball was dying on him, and he had to actually move forward, and he took a really good catch.
It was, and with this Brian Lara stadium, with the wind coming across, you really do get, especially around this time of the day, a lot of swing here. And a bowler like McCoy, who naturally extracts a lot of swing wherever he bowls, well, that one took the edge, and I wasn't very far forward, just sort of stayed on the crease, played at it, and it took the edge. That would have traveled to maybe between second and third slip had it been a test match. Well, that was an exceptional catch again by Hussain.
I thought he was looking to work that delivery onto the onside, and but the danger. We talk about danger men. This is another danger man has come into the crease.
Yeah, it certainly is, and India have an assortment of
I like that word, an
assortment of weapons. You know, in those scenes where the mafia guy comes in to torture someone and he rolls out all the weapons. Well, India have that. They have all sorts of weapons to hurt you with, and this man is one of them. Now, his T20 record hasn't been quite as good as his ODI and perhaps his Test record. This is still an arena where he has to really make his name, but boy, is he dangerous.
And the man we're talking about is the left-handed Rishabh Pant, and he hits the ball. If he gets going, I'm not sure if the crowd would love it, but certainly the Indian fans would love it if he gets going, as this ball outside the line of the off stump, and he plays at it wide outside the line of the off stump. He was reaching for it, luckily didn't get the edge. The roar from the crowd as that ball goes past the outside edge and into the gloves of Nicholas Pooran. All of a sudden now the total remains on 45 for 2, and 6 overs have been bowled, and the scoring rate has dropped to just over 7 runs and over.
Yes, that's right. So that's also, I believe, the end of the power play. So at the end of the power play, India, who were going along at 10.75 after the fourth over, now all of a sudden 45 for 2. And that's only 2 runs in the last 2 overs, Colin.
Yeah, that's right. It's been excellent. And both McCoy, you look at Obed McCoy, he's had his 2 overs, 1 for 6. And Akil Hussain, he's also had 2 overs, 1 for 6. So the end of the power play, Akil Hussain is going to continue. Let's have a look at the field, because the field is now much more relaxed. There's that man at mid-wicket. Let's deal with the onside. There's a deep backward square leg. There's a deep mid-wicket. There's the orthodox mid-wicket. There's a long on, a long off, an extra cover, deep square cover out of the boundary, a cover point, and a backward point. Here's Hussain round the wicket to the right-handed Sharma, and Sharma is looking to paddle sweep this one. Didn't make contact, and a ball outside the line of the off stump. And Akil Hussain continues to trouble the Indian batsmen. They're certainly looking to, as we say, invent shots, because that was a ball I thought Sharma should have just been pushing it down towards mid-on or mid-off, but he was looking to hit it somewhere over fine leg. Here is Hussain into him again. This time it's a much more orthodox shot from him. He's looking to give himself some room, but plays it out to Mears, who is at that cover, or one would say more of an extra cover. And there is no run. Score remains 45 for 2. It's been on 45 for quite a while as Hussain into Sharma, and he's pulling this one. Didn't get hold of it. Down to Hetmeyer, who is at the deep mid-wicket, and they pick up a single. That looked like a frustrated shot from Rohit Sharma. He got onto the back foot and he was pulling. It seemed to have been into the shot a little too early, and it went down towards the deep mid-wicket, but with not the kind of power that you are accustomed of seeing from Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, with the ball spinning away from him, there was almost like a forehand. There was a feeling of playing like a tennis forehand, the way that Rohit Sharma played that. So he really had to work and put some overspin, it seems, on that to get that over the mid-wicket area. He was really trying to get it into that gap, but it went a lot bit closer to the mid-wicket than he wanted, only got 1.
Well, Pant, who is yet to get off the mark, just had 1 delivery from McCoy. He's back in strike as Hussain is into him, and he's looking to turn a delivery, badly lined from Akil Hussain. He's now faced with the prospect of bowling to a left-hander. His line was very good to the right-handers, but his first delivery to the left-hander is just outside the line of the leg stump, taken by Puran, but signalled a wide by the umpire. Score goes to 47 for 2 as Hussain into Pant, and he's looking to pull a delivery, gets it down to the deep backward square leg, and they pick up an easy single. So he's off the mark with that single, and the total goes up to 48 now for 2, and Pant is off the mark, brings Sharma, who is on 17, back into strike. And things have been very quiet with him, Rohit Sharma, for a little while, as he settles, waits on Akil Hussain round the wicket to the right hand, and he's backing away, giving himself some room and just opening the face of the bat. Guides it down to Kimo Paul, who is at that deep square cover, and they pick up an easy single. Total goes on now to 48 for 2, and Sharma 49 for 2, and Sharma on to 18. Pant back in strike. Just a single to his name so far. Nice sunny conditions here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. As this delivery, he's looking to sweep, and may have come off the pad, goes to the left of the short fine leg. Let's have a look and wait on the signal. He got some bat onto it, so he just got a little bit of bat onto that, hit the bat, maybe the edge, onto the pad, went to the left of Jason Holder at the short fine leg, and they pick up a single. It's the end of the over, and with it comes up the 50, so it's now 50 for 2, and we've had 7 overs so far, so the run rate very, very commendable as far as the West Indies are concerned. Just about 7 runs and over, and they could not want better at this stage of the innings.
7 runs scored off the last 18 deliveries for India. That is a measure of how much the West Indies have been able to pull it back, and 2 of those overs have been bowled by Akil Hussain. His overs so far have cost 5, 1 and 5. So he's been exceptional once again, and this is where he's built his reputation over the last 18 months or so.
Yeah, he's had 3 overs, 1 for 11. And the important thing is he's not only been very economical, but he's been able to pick up the wicket of Yadav. Here is Alzarri Joseph back into the attack, and that's a huge wild swing from Pant. He just stood there and he was looking to carve this delivery. It was outside the line of the off stump. It was full in length, and he was looking to hit it somewhere over long on. His head was in the air, the bat was all over the place, and it went through to Puran. Very uncharacteristic of Pant. He's such a good player, but all I could think of that video was just a whoop, as we say in Trinidad and Tobago. Here is Joseph. This time he's looking to pull a delivery, gets a lot of bat onto it, goes down to Hetmeyer at a deep backward square, and they pick up a single. So Pant seems to be a little, I'm not sure if it's frustration, but he tends to time the ball. And when you're batting with Sharma, get the singles, get the pace of the track, get your singles, and then give Sharma some strike.
Yeah, this is the thing about Pant. At international level, his strike rate is only 124.27, which is not bad. However, at T20 in the IPL, his strike rate is closer to 145. So he's a lot more successful.
Here's Joseph into Sharma, and Sharma, that's going to run away. That's good feeling by Akil Hussain again. He did exceptionally well because Sharma opened the face of the bat. It came off the middle of the bat. It was going to the right of... Now, Akil Hussain is down at third man. It was going to his right. He had to sprint, I would think, about 10 meters to his right, and then he put in the dive, pushed the ball back from the boundary board, and saved 2 runs. So 2 to Sharma. He's on to 20. The total on to 53 for 2. We are into over number 8 as Alzarri Joseph goes past the umpire, bowls to Sharma, and Sharma is pulling this high, hard, over the deep square leg position. That's 6. Alzarri Joseph cannot afford to bowl short. If he's going to bowl anything here, he's got to take the ball up to the bat. And you know what? If he gets hit for 6, that's not too bad. But when you bowl those sort of short balls to these Indian batsmen, Vidya, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, you are. The last 6, the last boundary, in fact, by India was 3.2 in the second ball of the 4th over. So it's quite a while. So as soon as he's come back on, Sharma made that look ridiculously easy.
Here's Joseph into Sharma, and this time he's backing away. The ball peels off a thick outside edge and goes down to Hussain at that third man, and they go through for a single. Sharma is on to 27. It's now 6-4-2. We are into over number 8. 1 delivery left. And you look at the figures of Alzarri Joseph, 1.5 overs so far, none for 24. As Joseph would want to finish well here against Pant, but Pant looks around at the field, looks at the offside, he looks on the onside as if to say he's going to target that onside as Joseph is into him, and he's hitting this high in the air. Will it carry? No, it will not, as the man has to run around to his left. That is Rovman Powell, who had to run around to his left at a long on position towards, I would say, a wideish long on, and the ball was dropping in front of him, and Pant helps himself to 2 runs. So he's not timing the ball. He's looking to attack the bowling, but he's not timing the ball at the moment, and so he's giving the bowlers a chance. But he picks up 2 runs to end the over. He goes to 5. It's 62 for 2 after 8 overs.
That's the best over India have had since the last over bowled by Alzarri Joseph, which he conceded 18 runs. This time, another 12 runs conceded here. So 20, that's 30 runs that he's conceded off his 2 overs. It's been a torrid debut here for Alzarri Joseph, and Odean Smith is now going to continue from the northern end here. But the seamers have been under the pump here. Outside of Ovid McCoy, the seamers have been under the pump here against these India batsmen.
Yes, well, let's see. Odean Smith is going to come into the attack. Another very pacey individual is Odean Smith. You reckon he's a little bit quicker than Alzarri Joseph, Vidya?
He certainly is pacey, but maybe not quite as quick. I mean, Alzarri Joseph with those longer levers, the longer run-up, I think he's generating a bit more. But he does look quick. He's pretty sharp.
Yeah, he is pretty sharp. And it's going to be interesting on the type of length he bowls here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. There's a short third man, backward point, square cover out on the boundary, extra cover, long off. Then there's a long on, very straight mid-wicket, then that deep mid-wicket that's a little bit squarer, and a man at that wideish fine leg. Here's Odean Smith with his first delivery and driven out onto the offside by Sharma. Kimo Paul is now at that deep cover point position, and they pick up an easy single. Sharma goes on now to 29, is it? And the total on to 63 for 2. Brings Pant back into strike. Actually, it looks like 28 for Sharma. The eyesight is not what it used to be. But I can tell you surely the score is 63 for 2. And we are into over number 9. Pant. He is on 5. And he is on strike, the left-hander. Again, looks around at the field. 5 men on the off. There's just 4 on the on. And I tell you what, he is going to target the onside. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. This is Odean Smith. And that's a good delivery. Sharp. Outside the line of the off stump. Had a little bit of pace. Had some bounce. And Pant just stood there. Tried to open the face of the bat. Doesn't make contact. Goes through to be taken by the keeper.
A nice pacey delivery, and he's a shorter batter than Rohit Sharma, so wasn't able to deal with that. But Odean Smith, who played for Trinidad and Tobago in the first-class competition, very strong upper body, really wheels that in.
It's one Yorker length delivery. Pant drives down to the long off position. Rovman Powell is there, and they go through for a comfortable single. Pant on to 6. The total on now to 64 for 2. 3 deliveries so far from Odean Smith. There's been good control so far from him. Vidya, 3 deliveries and just 2 runs.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have seen a bit of Odean Smith. Of course, he would have played in the IPL, played for the Gujarat Titans in the 2021.
He is short. This is outside. That's a bad delivery. It was short. It gave Sharma the width. He just backed off and he cut it. He cut it in the air, but safely away from the man at point. There is that deep square cover, but he couldn't get around in time because that ball was going to his left. It went quickly to the boundary, and that's 4 to Sharma. He goes to 32. The total on to 68 for 2. That's probably the first bad delivery from Odean Smith. It was not only short, but it was wide of the off stump, gave him the width.
Yeah, and with the fielder deep and square of the wicket there, he had no chance of getting that one. Now they push the fielder out on that boundary wide.
And what they've done,
more backward point.
They brought in a long off to orthodox mid-off position. So that's going to tell me he's going to bowl short. And he does bowl this delivery short out to the man. The ball just angled out to the man at that deep square cover. There are 2 men now. They've got a deep cover, and then they've got that deep square cover. So they're protecting the boundary. That's Shamar Brooks out there. And he limits the scoring to a single. Sharma on to 33, total on to 69 for 2. 1 delivery left in over number 9.
Hussein is in that curious little position, that short third man just wide here now. He's left-handed, so he can make. He's trying to cover a little bit more room to way to his left.
Well, Smith round the wicket to Pant, and he's looking to pull a delivery. Comes off the pad. It's going to probably run into the boundary boards just about now, and that's badly lined from Odean Smith. It was angled into the pads of Pant. He tried to sweep it, didn't make contact, but it flicked the pads and it went very fine. Wicketkeeper Puran couldn't get around in time. The man at fine leg, he had to move to his left. He neither could have got around in time, and it goes into the boundary. It's the end of over number 9. 73 now for 2. Odean Smith has completed his first over, none for 7, but of course you have to take into consideration those 4 leg byes, so it was a pretty good over for the Indians.
Yeah, it certainly was. The scoring rate has now gone back over 8 for the first time since the 5th over. India gradually starting to build up some momentum. So as the Pacers have come back on, they've started to pick up the runs once again. India have been very good this year in the middle overs. Their run rate in the middle overs is 9.19. This is where they've really built up some huge scores this year in winning the bulk of those 18 matches.
At 73 for 2, Vidya, what you reckon? Maybe a 180? But
Yeah, 180 is where they've been around for the year. Their scoring rate at 9.27, just about that for the year. So I think anywhere in the region between 180 and 190, definitely on the cards. If the West Indies crack under pressure here, it could be a bit more.
the question to do is, if they do get to 180 or 190, is that a gettable target?
Certainly is. The West Indies have gotten some big
The
targets
firepower?
this year, but it hasn't been. They've won 5 out of their 11 games. They've lost 5, 1-0 result for the year. So they do have the firepower.
This is Kimo Paul into the attack, and this first delivery was short and wide, and Sharma is cutting it down to the point position. Odin Smith runs in to have a shy at the striker's end, overthrows because it goes all the way down to the men at that deep square leg position, and that's Alzari Joseph coming in. He has a shy also at the end, in which Pant was running back to for the second. He missed, and they got home safely in the end. So 2 runs to Sharma. That was not a good delivery actually from Kimo Paul. It was short, it was wide. Sharma went after it, got the bottom edge, and they were only picking up 2 runs. This one, another wide delivery, and that's a glorious shot from Sharma because it was wide, it was full, and all he did, he was just getting across and he laid the bat onto it, but in so doing it took off from that the bat position, the way he angled the bat onto the ball, and it went over the head of the man at short third man, a deliberate shot from him, and it went down to the boundary for 4. But that's another good shot. It's 79 now for 2, and we see Jason Holder going up to have a word with Kimo Paul. So obviously the ploy from Paul is to go wide of that off stump.
Full and wide, but only Rohit Sharma could play a shot like that
How
and
do you
make it look good.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Here is Kimo Paul. This time Sharma is pushing it out towards long off, and they go through for a single. Yeah, he almost he was almost chipping that ball because it was wide of the off stump, and he almost chipped it over the head of the man at third man. Incredible shot.
Yeah, deliberately done there by Rohit Sharma, the #1 player in the world. And during this innings, he's also gone back as the #1 player in T20 cricket at international level. Martin Guptill had actually gone ahead of him in their last series, but when Rohit got to 22, he would have retaken the record as the highest run scorer in the history of T20 International.
It's 80 for 2 as Sharma is on 40. Pant, who is on 6 at the moment, he is taking strike as he waits on Kimo Paul, who is over the wicket to the left-hander, and he's pulling this one, but it takes a top edge and goes to the right of Akil Hossain, who is at that short third man, and he was running to his right and he was stretching, trying to get to that, but Pant, living dangerously here, he was looking to pull a short delivery from Kimo Paul. He got the luck because it took a top edge and flew just to the right of Akil Hossain at that short third man position, and he just couldn't hold on to it. Didn't get a hand to it, even video, but a little bit of bad luck for the West Indies.
Well, if he had been a little bit finer as he was on the other side when the catch was taken, he would have taken that easily.
This is Kimo Paul into Pant, and he's pulling this delivery. That's going to run away into the deep mid-wicket position just about now, and that's 4 runs again. So Kimo Paul, pretty expensive now here at the moment as the boundaries are flowing once again. It's 88 for 2. Pant is on to 14.
Yeah, 15 runs off the over, and seeing how the spinners and Obed McCoy have done today, it's been a tale of 2 bowlers doing well. The others have not found the right areas to bowl to these Indian batters, and as you mentioned, the runs flowing again. It's almost up to 9 for the innings already.
And we see Paul is now going to come around the wicket to the left-hander. No, he's not, because Sharma goes back across to the offside as Kimo Paul with his final delivery of his first over into Pant, and Pant drives outside edge, the catch taken. He had been living very, very dangerously. This time he was driving at a full length delivery outside the line of the off stump, got the outside edge, and Akil Hossain, you can't keep him out of the game. This time he takes the catch because it went straight to him, and Kimo Paul does the trick. He was very expensive. 15 runs coming in the over, but he's finally made the breakthrough. Pant, he's not looked comfortable at all in this innings. He was getting a top edge, he was pulling, never really timing his deliveries. He looked a shadow of the player we've seen over the years, and it's no surprise that he goes back to the pavilion for caught off the bowling of Kimo Paul. Another good catch video taken by Akil Hussain.
Yeah,
but more importantly, after 10 overs, the Indians, they're 88 for 3.
88 for 3 represents a good performance for the West Indies in the first half. A team that has scored well over 9 and over throughout the year. They really did have the Indians in a spot of bother after 7 overs. The scoring rate was 7.1, but as soon as Akil Hussain came off, the score came off the bowling attack. Things fell away. Off the radar. So 88 for 3 after 10 overs.
Yeah, Vidya, thank you very much. Yeah, certainly the Indians off to a good start, but the West Indies looking to pull things back here. In the middle, in the final 10 here, they want to really pull down the run rate of the Indians just a bit. And to get that wicket of Rishabh Pant, who has been in some hot form this year as well, is very vital. So that's a big wicket from Kimo Paul.
Good afternoon, Visham. Is it afternoon yet or is it lunchtime? You are at the cricket, which means lunch is very close on hand. It's 11:23. I want to say good morning to all our listeners across the region, and thanks to Vidya and Colin Murray. So it has been really a wonderful electric morning here in South Trinidad, and the fans are really coming in. I was just looking outside. There's still a long line to come in here at the Brown Cricket Academy. Here's Akil Hussain from the media center, and it's his final over, and this delivery is played away down to mid-on. There is no run. Hussain has been absolutely brilliant here today. His 3 overs so far going for just 11 runs, in which he has taken a wicket. He has put the brakes on the Indians. Sharma is on 40, as here is Hussain. He's into him now. Sharma pushing to cover. There is no run. Myers is in the way.
So thus far, 6 bowlers used by the West Indies. Nicholas Pooran ringing the changes in this T20, first T20 International of the series thus far.
Here he is again. Hussain bowls, and this delivery a bit shorter, turning away from Sharma. He gets 1 down to long off, and that takes the score along now to 88 for 3. I'd just like to mention that 4 players, very strange, 4 players on this West Indies team from 4 different islands would have played in the south, and that is Clark Road United. They would have all played for Clark Road United. Pooran, of course, the captain, started his career at Clark Road. He's now at Queen's Park. And Kyle Myers, he played for many years at Clark Road. Here is Hussain. He's in now on bowls. That's a good delivery. Just on about the off stump, turning away. And Pandya pushes it away to cover. There is no run. The others being Odin Smith and Obed McCoy, all played at Wilson Road in Clark Road. For that, I want to thank Baldat Mahabir, the president for life at that club. Mahabir has done a fine job down there in Clark Road. Pushed away down to the sweeper on the boundary. That's 1. And Pandya is off and running. The score is 90 for 3.
Yeah, Pandya might have hoped to come in with the last 5 overs or so to ramp things up a bit for the Indians, but here he is. I think Rohit Sharma has found it a bit difficult to play Akil Hussain, the left-arm orthodox spinner. Akil Hussain is bowling a line just on about that off stump. Ball not moving that much as well.
He is now. He bowls again. That's the arm ball. Very straight. Played away down to Rovman Powell at long on. And that is 1 to the right of me. It's the end of the over. The latest score at the BCL State Academy, 91 for 3. The Indians put into bat after over number 11.
Yeah, Rohit Sharma in T20s this year, he hasn't had a half century just yet in T20s. He's struck 466 runs in his 24 T20 matches played in 2022 at an average of 20.26. He hasn't had a half century, so maybe today he can come trumps for the Indians. He had been rested, of course, prior to this. He's come back in now to captain the Indian team, and I think he'd want to make his presence felt.
Yeah, 91 for 3 at the moment, and Sharma is there on 42. Yeah, he's looked good, Rohit Sharma. Let's play a measured innings. So at the moment, the score is 91 for 3. As I said, Sharma is going to take strike. Number 45 on his back. Hardik Pandya on the other end. Two very dangerous customers on this Indian team. It's a really good crowd on hand. It's so wonderful to see people out at cricket. Here is Alzari Joseph. Has been expensive. Short and just guided away down to a wide-ish third man. Hetmaya comes around. He gets two. Not really hitting that, but guiding it more than anything else. Too short there and wide.
Well, these two players like space on the ball. That's Rohit Sharma and Hardik Pandya. Although Rohit Sharma plays spin a bit well as well. But I'd like to see if Nicholas Pooran can, slow things down a bit. Maybe bring Kyle Mayers into the attack. He has a knack of picking up wickets as well.
He's the man with the golden arm, Kyle Myers. 93 for 3. Here he is, Joseph. Breaks into his run, goes past the umpire now, bowls, and this is a drive through the covers. That's a lovely shot for 4. That's the class of the man, Rohit Sharma. He goes on now to 48. It's 97 for 3.
Yeah, he waited nicely there, Rohit Sharma, getting it backward of that fielder at cover. That's Odin Smith, and forward of the backward point fielder. That's Shimran Hetmaya, who's on the boundary. You had no chance. That one raced away. We know how the outfield here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy is always spectacular.
That brings great cheer from the Indian fans. Even some of the locals are supporting the Indians here, have gathered. And in the party stands, 3 massive Indian flags making its presence felt. Here is Joseph. He leans forward and runs in now. He's up to the wicket, bowls and driving well. That's 4 more. Half century to Rohit Sharma. The score goes up now to 101 for 3. And Sharma goes on to 52.
Yeah, brilliant half century from Rohit Sharma. His 27th in T20 International cricket. His first of the year for India as well. And as the captain of India today. Well,
I know you're a stats man. He now becomes the first player in international cricket to score a half century at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Yeah, very much so. And what a special moment that is. Rohit Sharma, of course, you would know that. It's the very first game being played, the international game that is. Most of T20 as well.
So it's been expensive, to say the least here, Alzari Joseph. I just didn't understand why he was brought back in. I don't know if Pooran wanted a wicket and told him go flat out, push the Indians further back. It's 101 for 3. He's putting pace on the ball, and Sharma loves that. It's a much better protection now at the long off boundary. A defensive shot takes it down there. That's 1 more. 102 for 3.
Yeah, Alzari Joseph has been predominantly short and short of a good length in his spell thus far, and this is a couple of overs as well. So I don't think it's a good move by Nicholas Pooran. It's 2.3 overs, 36 runs conceded. It's very expensive, you have to say. Pooran just making some subtle adjustments to the field, bringing around Kimo Paul, who is a deep backward square leg on the boundary.
Here's Joseph again. He comes in, goes past the umpire, bowls, and Pandya guides it. He ramps it. He could be in trouble. He's gone! Leaning forward and taking the catch. That's a big wicket. He has been expensive, but I think he has done what his captain wanted, which was take a wicket, and that of Hardik Pandya.
Yeah, that's a big wicket to get here for Alzari Joseph. And I was just speaking about him being short. Well, the short ball working. Pandya just placing it into the hands of Obed McCoy, a third man who didn't have to move. It was a simple catch.
Well, Pandya not really troubling the scorers today. Just one of his 2 deliveries, and he's on his bike, so to speak. 102 for 4.
Yeah, Hardik Pandya struggling today with the bat not getting off, and India would have wanted to see him get off. He's someone who can take the game away from a fielding team if he gets off, Hardik Pandya, but not today.
And he goes, and in comes Jadeja. So this Indian team is so awesome. When you think you have seen the back of a top man, another one comes in. It reminds me of, you know, it's similar to a batting lineup like Colin Murray, and when he is dismissed, you see Vidya Ramphal. When Ramphal goes, you see Andrew Mason, and when Mason goes, you see Barry Wilkinson. Oh, what a lineup! What a lineup! So at the moment, it's 102 for 4, and the crowd, they're on their feet. It's Friday in Trinidad. The weekend started yesterday, so I think they're well into the weekend here.
Yeah, definitely. So the fans coming out, they'd want to see a big score from the Indians today, to see a competitive game here at the Brown Cricket Academy. That lineup you called, they didn't call your name. Are you a tail ender?
I'm a reserve. I will manage the team. I tend to get the best out of Murray, you know. And that makes me a good manager. So, here we go. It's Jadeja, the left-hander, to face. And here is Joseph. He's up to the wicket. And that was too short. In fact, that was so high, I think it threatened to bring down that lovely birdie that's in front of us. Number of lovely birdies today at the stadium.
Yeah, definitely. So I was able to catch up with a number of them during the first 10 overs, doing a couple interviews, and they're quite happy to be here.
Chirping along. Well, I never thought Vidya Ramphal was a birdies man. It seems to know all the species. He has been going around the stadium this morning. Here is Joseph. He bowls a bit too straight, worked away around the corner by Jadeja. He gets 1, and that's all he'll get. The score at the moment is 103 for 4. That's the latest score after 12 overs at the Brown Lara Cricket Academy.
Yeah, so Jadeja have been here for the ODI series. Of course, he didn't play, and now he's into the Indian team. He'd want to make an impact here today with the ball, with the bat, but he has an opportunity here now to, partner with his captain, Rohit Sharma. 2 senior players out there in the middle. They would need to consolidate and finish this innings off well. There's still Dinesh Karthik to come as well. Ravindra Jadeja in T20 International. He's played 60 and he has 379 runs and his high score 46 not out. That's Ravindra Jadeja.
Good old Jadu. Have you ever eaten at his restaurant? I know you're a man that samples fare on a regular basis.
I have not. Maybe one day I will.
So it's going to be Chemo Paul. And he is going to take up the attack from the media centre. And here is Paul up to the wicket. He bowls. That's a delivery that's guided by Jadeja down to third man. And they take 1. So that carries the score along to 104 now for the loss of 4.
Yeah, that's a good delivery there from Chemo Paul. Just pitching it just short of a good length there. Was rising on Ravindra Jadeja, but it was close to him. They didn't have that much room to work with. Just getting inside the line and working it nicely down to third man. Doing the right thing though, rotating the strike, getting Rohit Sharma up there.
And you must tip your hat to Akil Hussain. 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 14. After the quick start the Indians got, he was able to rope them back in. Here's Paul, he's in again. That's a wide delivery. And good old Sharma would have needed an Uber or a TT ride share to get to that delivery.
Yeah, a bit all over the place, you have to say, from Chemo Paul, but he was able to get that wicket of Rishabh Pant with a delivery similar to that one. A wide delivery outside the off stump that Pant was chasing and that he should have been leaving. But Rohit Sharma has been there for a long period of time. He's not going to chase those.
Here is Paul. That's a slow delivery. Again, wide. Toying with that line, which is just a guideline for the umpire. He signals another wide. Would you allow me to say good day to Dr. Nilesh Mehta? He's locked on in Chicago. Of course, our Indian voice did the first 2 internationals here with us at the Queen's Park Oval. And he's saying that he wants to get into that batting lineup with Colin Murray. He likes Colin Murray. So he wants to partner him. This is what he's telling me on the... he's messaging me. Yes, Chemo Paul. Up to the wicket now. He bowls. And that was very wide. Sharma gets it. And that's 1 more. That was very wide by Paul. Naughty. 108 for 4.
Yeah, just maybe looking to take it out of that hitting arc of Rohit Sharma, but too wide certainly. And luckily Sharma didn't miss that. That would have been a wide. But 13 extras from the West Indies. That's not helping their cause at the moment. I don't think that's something they would have spoken about in their team meeting. I'm sure they would have wanted to limit the extras that they bowl out there in the middle, if any. But 13, that's unacceptable.
So it's going to be Paul to continue. 108 for the loss of 4. He's up to the wicket now. He bowls. That's short. That's a good delivery. And this is what Kemo Paul brings to you. He's deceptive with his pace.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have been asking Ravindra Jadeja, how did the leather smell there? Jadoo? Yeah, certainly that one just past the Indian flag on the helmet.
You would have been telling Jadoo, welcome to the kitchen. Good old Jadoo. Here is Paul, goes in, or passes the umpire, bows, he's trying it again. That was another good delivery because it was on the body, not allowing him to get inside the line to hit it away. He gets one down to square leg, and the score goes on now by 1. It's now 108 for 4.
You always need to be on point when you're bowling those short rising deliveries. You don't want to be too wide outside the off stump. You don't want to be too wide on the leg side as well. And that's good.
West Indies lost the ODI series 3-0, and fans in the Caribbean, they have a very short memory. If the West Indies team can pull out a good performance today, all of a sudden everyone will forget the ODIs, except the guys like the purists like Mr. Ramphal, who keeps his stats. This is a drive through the offside for 4. Full toss. He picked the spot immaculately. 113 for 4.
Well, that was served up like a 2-bara, some chana on a piece of paper on a Friday morning here at the Brown Lara Cricket Academy. And, well, Rohit Sharma feasting.
Are you speaking about Chode Batude? That's 4. 113 for 4. Well, whatever he served up there, it couldn't be better than what our technical guru Jason Prasad is enjoying at the moment. The only thing left for him is to eat the brown bag. Here is Paul. He runs away from us again up to the wicket. He bowls, and that's a good delivery. You can see Paul just rolling the fingers over that through to the wicketkeeper. Paul brings the overturn, and it's 113 for 4 after 13 overs. The thing with Paul, he has great variation, but sometimes I think Vishamla Ahmad, he tries too many things in one over.
Yeah, he's a good bowler, Kemo Paul, and I have to agree with you. Trying too much is not the right thing for him. When he hits a nice sideline leg, when he focuses on the simple things, he does well.
Keep it simple. So it's going to be Odean Smith, a former Clark Road player, also played for the TNT Red Force. And he's going to take up the attack from the fire. And he seems to be going around the wicket to the left-handed Jadoo. And long leg is in place now. The backward square goes down to the boundary as well. So there's a backward point cover, mid-off, sweeper on the cover boundary, mid-on. And there is a fielder at long on. It's going to be Smith, another man who can bowl at a good clip. 1 for 7 his first over. It wasn't bad. Here's Odean Smith from the fire. He comes in and bowls a drive that takes the edge. It's peeling down to third man and fielded there after a little bit of difficulty. Hussain was going one way and the ball backspun. He was able to stop it. It's now 114 for the loss of 4.
It's a good start there by Odean Smith. Luckily for Jadeja, that didn't go straight to hand of the third man fielder. Odean Smith in his first over, just 7 runs. So coming back to do the trick here for the West Indies if he can.
It's going to be Sharma.
They would want to remove Rohit Sharma.
He's on 58 of 39 balls. He has struck 6 fours and 2 6s. He's at a strike rate of 148. Here Smith is into Sharma and squares him up. Beautiful delivery. Right back to the bowler.
Yeah, Smith's deliveries rushes on to the batsman normally. He hits a hard length as well. Odean Smith, the broad shouldered Odean Smith.
So the score is 117 for 4. Yes, Smithy's in now on bowls. This is a drive through the offside. Sharma gets 1. He's looking for 2. It's not there. So it's Sharma, Hardik Pandya, your favorite cricketer, Dinesh Karthik. All these guys came in just a couple of days ago. I saw some of them at the Mina in Port of Spain.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how Dinesh Karthik goes here today for the Indian. If he does get an opportunity to bat, that is.
How was the CSL last night? You didn't tell me.
Well, wasn't that opening rained off?
Well, I don't think they've started the tournament just yet. I think they still have registration going on, Shams. Good old Shams. So, over the wicket now. He comes into the left-handed Jadeja. That's a good delivery and a good pull. That was what you call in Hindi, Lati. Pull the way down to cow corner for 4. It's 119 for 4.
Yeah, rolling his wrist over that one there. Jadeja keeping it down. And, well, no stopping that there from that man, Obed McCoy. Even he couldn't stop it. The long-legged Obed McCoy. Good shot.
Look, I'm looking to my right here, and the Indian fans to the front, they're having a good time. Someone is asking the Indian fan to take his flag down.
Well,
The stands here at the Brownland Cricket Academy, they're not steep. They're not really steep, so it's difficult when you stand with your flag in front. Here's Odin Smith. Up to the wicket now, he bowls, and this is driven down the ground. Holder. In fact, it's Rovman Powell. That's 1. 120 for 4.
when you're seeing that,
Sharma, he goes on now to 59. Sorry,
Yes.
Visham.
well, you're seeing that the Indians fans are enjoying themselves. I'm sure everyone who doesn't enjoy themselves in South Trinidad.
Yeah, you know, it's a great spectacle here at the Brownland Cricket Academy. And a number of fans. You look out there, it's a full house. And I'll tell you why. You're not seeing that because to the front where the sun is really belting down, you're not seeing fans. They're actually at the back, standing. You can see that there. This is a drive. That's a lovely shot through backward point for 4. Too wide. And that was class. All the way to the boundary for 424 for 4. Sharma goes on to 63.
But I think this is a point at which, Rohit Sharma would look to take the attack to the bowlers now. He is set. There's still 6 wickets in hand. There's a lot of batting to come for the Indians. Dinesh Karthik, Ravi Bishnoi, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, even Ravi Chandran Ashwin, the all-rounder, he could bat a bit as well. So I think Dinesh Karthik and Ashwin, the 2 men to come, they would want some runs from them. So I think with that luxury as well, I think Sharma could look to open his arms here now.
At the end of over number 14, the latest score at the Brownland Cricket Academy. In there, putting to bat 124 for the loss of 4. And my favorite cricketer is now going to come into the attack. And that's a man called Jason Holder.
Yeah, Jason Holder, 15 runs in his first over. Not the best of first overs, but he's the man with all the experience.
Well, he's had a bout of COVID. He's coming back. He's not at his best. We saw him in the 3rd ODI, and he looked tired. And you have never gotten COVID, but I was told by Colin Murray, who has gotten it 73 times.
Wow.
It normally leaves you tired.
73 times.
Yes, once for every year of his age. This is a slow delivery following Jadeja. There is no run. The score 124 for 4.
It looks as though, if you look down to the dugout, it looks as though Ravi Chandran Ashwin is padded up and he's going to be the next man in.
But he also is another one who has taken a liking to West Indian bowling in the past. Has a test century against the West Indies. I think it's 2.
2, yeah.
And that is something that the Indians will be looking forward to. Someone probably has taken a dive just in front of us. This is short, but no pace on it. Pull the way down to the backward square for 1.
Well, let's hope it's not Colin Murray.
Murray's standing next, and he's on his phone. He hasn't gone to the assistants. I heard the thud, and then I looked to the right, and 5,000 people in the Northwest stand were looking up, and Murray's standing right there, and he hasn't seen it just yet.
He's a very focused man, Colin Murray.
Is it that or he misses a lot of things? 98 on the back of Jason Holder. It's 125 for 4 at the moment. Holder making a change, bringing squarish cover. That's a very strange feel by Jason Holder. Actually 2 mid-offs. They're within touching distance of each other. Here he is now to Rohit Sharma. He would have had a number of battles. That's a full toss. It dips on him and they take a quick single. Holder chases and hits Sharma in the back. Jadu is coming back and he has to move his head out of the way. It's all happening here at the moment. At the Brownland Cricket Academy, 126 for the loss of 4.
Well, balls are everywhere at the moment, flying around everywhere there. And Jadeja had to duck for cover as well. But Rohit Sharma looks as though he's all well and he can continue. I'm sure Jason Holder would have apologized for that one. It wasn't intentional by any means.
Jason Holder is a gentleman, and obviously he would have apologized. I think one day he may become the Prime Minister of Barbados. Such a statesman is holder. Here he is now. He goes past the umpire, bowls. That's a good delivery. And no! Sharma has to get his head out of the way as Jadeja struck that firmly past him. Well. Sharma, I think may just want to take a moment or two, look up, and communicate with who's above. Because at the moment, missiles are flying in his directions. 127 for 4. And just look to the front of us, our technical guy Jason Passad. He's giving Murray a tour of the Southland. He's actually pointing to where the apple trees are, and Murray's amazed. Massive apple trees to the southeast and the southwestern side of the ground. Video Ramphal is trying to locate it with his...
And I think he's trying to find the apples.
Well, he has been looking for that for the last 8 months. Here is hold up to the wicket now, bowls, and that's a slow delivery. Cut away, he's in trouble! Shimron Hetmeyer takes the catch, holder strikes, and that's the end of Rohit Sharma. He goes caught down at a wideish long off, and that's the end of him for 64. The crowd is on its feet here at the Brown Lara Cricket Academy, and the West Indians, they have struck 127 for 5.
Yeah, Sharma has to go for 64. A brilliant hand by the Indian captain, but what a magnificent catch by the Guyanese Shimron Hetmeyer, who's back into the West Indies team. You have to applaud him for that. Jason Holder stuck to his plans as well. A short and wide outside the off stump. He set his field nicely. He bowled to it, and well, he found Shimron Hetmeyer, who is at that deep extra cover field.
Well, in comes Dinesh Karthik, cricketer / commentator. And he's had a wonderful IPL, got back into the Indian team, and he's going to come here now to bat with Jadeja. It's 127 for 5, and the Indians continue to score at a good clip. The West Indians, they have realized that the only way to stop them is by taking wickets, so they have taken wickets at regular intervals, breaking the momentum.
Yeah, Dinesh Karthik, the man who has played 42 T20 Internationals and with a lone 50. And, you know, only 150 in those 42 T20 Internationals, 525 runs. I think they would want a big hand from him here. Very experienced campaigner, Dinesh Karthik. Certainly a change made from the Indians. They were initially looking as though Ravichandran Ashwin would have been set to come in, but Dinesh Karthik now.
Yeah, he's around the wicket holder. He's pulled away for 4. Bad line. And Jadeja just getting inside the line of that one. Sorry, Karthik, he's off and running. It's 131 now for 5.
Yeah, starting that short delivery a bit too straight. They on about middle and off stump. It went on with the angle, and Jadeja just having to help that one around the corner. Not really overhitting it, just placing it nicely. The fine leg was a bit straight. The deep backward square leg as well was wide, so there was that big gap for Jadeja to access. Wicket takers thus far for the West Indians. Obed McCoy 1 for 6 in 2. Jason Holder 1 for 18 and, well, actually 1 for 22 now. Akhil Hussain 1 for 14 in 4. He's bowled out his quota. And Alzari Joseph 1 for 39 in 3. Kemo Paul 1 for 24 in 2.
So there is a change at the southern end. Joseph comes back. So what I've noticed, every time there's a breakthrough, Puran goes back to Joseph to see if he can unsettle the new batsman. So it's going to be Karthik on strike. Here he is now, up to the wicket bowls, and this time he plays it away just far off square. There is no run. So Karthik yet to score. Jadeja is on 15, and at the moment it's 131 for 5.
Yeah, it was difficult there for Karthik to get that delivery away. It was on his mid-rib area there from Alzari Joseph. It was a quick delivery as well. And he would have been looking to get that delivery placed either side of that short mid-wicket fielder. He wasn't able to do so. A dot delivery, that's gold.
Here he is again. He leans forward, passes the umpire now. That's a handsome drive through the cover so far. Overpitch delivery, just lent on it and drove it imperiously for 4. It's 135 now for 5.
Excellent placement to the left of that, to the right, sorry, of that short cover fielder there, who's Odin Smith. He couldn't stop that one. A good pace as well from Alzari Joseph, so that's just helped along for 4. So Karthik is off and running with a boundary.
big frame of Joseph leaves the southern end, comes in now on bowls. That's a good delivery. On and about the off stump, squaring up Kartik. He takes a quick single. Odin Smith can't prevent the run. And that takes the score 136 now for the loss of 5.
Still 4 overs to go after this one. I think they can still get up to around about 180. That would be a very healthy total for the West Indians to chase. Pitch looks a good one to bat as well. And there have been some footmarks evident there showing up, so there may have been a bit of preparation moisture in the wicket. So as that dries off, the pitch is going to get better for batting. Maybe that's the decision that fueled the decision from Nicholas Pooran.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Plus the West Indians somehow in T20 cricket, they love to chase. You go back in the history of the West Indies team at T20 cricket, they love to chase. And the Pooran making that call this morning. So a number of the umbrellas are out, not to prevent the rain, but the tremendous heat to the left of us. Here's Joseph, and this is guided away down to point on the boundary for 1. Jadeja wants 2. He's a very energetic cricketer, Ravindra Jadeja. So Dr. Nilesh Mehta, who was with us the first 2 days, he had to leave, had to go back to Chicago because he held a benefit dinner for Farooq Engineer. Have you ever seen Farooq Engineer play?
Have not.
And he would have toured the West Indies decades ago. On one of those tours, you had a Farooq Engineer, a Nari contractor, and a Chandu board. Here is outside the off some edge, down to third man, protection. That's just 1. So 1 there to Kartik. Score goes on now to 138 for 5.
I think this is something you're going to see from these two batsmen. If the ball is not there to be hit, you're going to see a lot of singles, lots of running. They run very good between the wicket, both Dinesh Kartik and Ravindra Jadeja.
Number of the birdies on the southern end, they've decided to take flight. It's a lovely day for cricket here at the Brown Cricket Academy. All the corporate boxes are taken as well. This is outside the off stump, edged and out. Caught at short third man. It was wide. Jadeja was caught in 2 man. He was initially going to cut and then decided to guide it safely, and that goes. So another wicket has fallen. 138 for the loss of 6. Dinesh Kartik is at the other end on 6. He has seen the back of Jadeja for 16 of 13 deliveries, and the Indians have lost wicket number 6.
Well, Jadeja was swinging his bat there as he left, and it wasn't the famous sword celebration we normally see from him. He was just swinging his bat in disgust there, Ravindra Jadeja. He actually gave away his wicket there, you have to say. He just found the fielder, very easily, and he was very disgusted with that effort. And certainly you have to say now the Indians are in some trouble. 138 for 6, and Ashwin now joins Dinesh Kartik out there in the middle. And as you mentioned, Ashwin, he loves playing against the West Indies, but more so in the longer version of the game, that's Test cricket.
Well, Dr. Mehta continues to send us this information. He's now having another benefit dinner for another legend, Sunil Gavaskar, and that takes place on August the 2nd. That's Tuesday in Chicago. Gavaskar has a charity that he donates generously to, and that's cardiac assistance for young kids. Hats off to Dr. Mehta for doing great work. I think we need to get him to partner with some of our West Indian cricketers as well and help their charities, their respective charities. It's going to be Holder. It's going to continue from the media center end. Jason Holder, 1 for 22 off 2. Here he is now, up to the wicket. And this is a nice drive. It brings a single to Kartik just wide off mid-off. And that takes the score to 139 for the loss of 6.
But from 2011 to 2022, Ashwin has played 70-20 matches against the West Indies. He hasn't had a good time with the bat at all. He's only scored 11 runs. And that, well, his highest score is 11 as well. So just only 1 game he's batted in.
Here's Holder. Just making a change. He wants a point to come in. Point is indicating to him that he'll normally walk in. Here is Holder. It's up to the wicket now. Bowls. That's well pitched up. There's an appeal for caught behind. Wide signal. Well, Pooran and Holder thought that they heard something.
Yeah, certainly they were very disappointed with that there, but the umpire, he's of course in the right position to make the decision. We have to stand by that. Well, looks as though they have taken a review. The Nicholas Puran. Yeah, he's taking a review now. He's signaling that. This is going to be interesting here. Unfortunately, that will be if Ashwin is strangled down the leg side.
Well, we don't have the benefit of the replays here with us. So we're looking at the big screen. Obviously, Puran heard something. We can't tell from the naked eye if there was there was a deviation. We can't tell if it was off the bat, off the pad, or just the natural angle of the ball. Well, there's nothing off the bat. We can tell you that as we look at Snicko.
Yeah, it looks as though there's clear daylight between bat and ball, and there's nothing on Sticko as well.
Well, if you look at that angle, it seems as if there may well be nothing on the pad as well.
Yeah. So that tells you it's a good decision by the umpire.
Yep, so it's a wide. And here's Holder. He continues his work. Goes past the umpire now, wide of the crease. That's a slow delivery, pushed away by Kartik down to Hetmeyer, who has marshaled the cover boundary well today. That's one more. Score goes on to 141 now for 6.
There's a testing period here now for Dinesh Kartik and Ravichandran Ashwin. Kartik normally likes this sort of platform. He likes to finish off the innings for the Indians when he has the opportunity to do so.
Man from Madras, now Chennai, in the Tamil Nadu area. Cut away, down to cover again. Have you ever been to Chennai, Visham?
Well,
so he's Kartik on it, taps and wait on Holder. Here he is. He pulls away, and then Holder is just on and about the off stump. He plays it away quietly to third man for 1. And that takes the score along now to 144 for 6. Ravichandran Ashwin comes in the strike. But he has some experience, Visham. He has played for 20 teams across the world. India being number 1.
I think he could very well be giving competition to Dinesh Kartik, who has played for a number of teams as well in his career.
Well, he learned his craft. That's ramped away down to backward point on the boundary. Just one. The crowd got excited. The ball didn't carry. So that's one more. It's the end of the over. At the end of it, the score is 145 for 6 India. And we have 3 overs again to go. Well, just back to Ashwin. He has developed what is called the Sudoku ball. It's a finger flick tennis ball leg break from the streets of Chennai. And he has used it in international cricket on a bigger, harder cricket ball, and he has been successful more often than not.
Yeah, we had the luxury of looking on at Ashwin doing his work, his preparation at the Queen's Park Oval just before this game, at the end of the final ODI there, and you could have seen him practicing that ball alone. That goes to show how much time he invests in his variation and his development as a spin bowler, and he's an experienced guy, and that just goes to show, you know, you're never too old to learn.
Well, the Sipara rhythm section is in the element at the moment in the party stand, and you can hear in the background you're really belting it out there, Visham.
Yeah, and we're seeing 3 Carib bears walking around the ground as well. Word coming to hand is as Colin Murray is suited up as one of them.
Oh, one thought they came out of the woods at the southern end of the ground. Yes, Obed McCoy. That's a good delivery. Full and just wide of the off stump.
Well, they were just under the apple trees. They were feasting on some apples, maybe.
McCoy has been brilliant today. 1 for 6 in his 2 overs. You know, I was thinking, McCoy should have been included in that ODI team.
Yeah, I think so. We had some problems. The West Indies had some problems, in that debt over area, and even Romario Shepherd struggled, and maybe Obed McCoy could have filled that void.
Here's McCoy, he's in and bowls again. It's in the air, and it can't carry. Long off is running in, and Ruffman Paul, they take one, they're going to go for two, and they're going to come back. So that's two. 148 now for 6. Unlucky there, Obed McCoy.
Yeah, he's unlucky. One of his many variations, that slower ball. And yeah, many persons tend to compare Obed McCoy to, Dwayne Bravo. But a left-handed Dwayne Bravo tends to have those deliveries that can dip on the batsman. And that's one of them there to Dinesh Karthik. Luckily, it didn't go to hand.
Obed Christopher McCoy. Here he is from the fire and up to the wicket now, bowls, and this is pushed back along the track as straight as an arrow there by Karthik. They take one, they're going to come back for two, and he's in trouble. In fact, Obed McCoy refused to take the bails off. Very, very strange indeed. I can't understand that one, Shams.
Yeah, you have to say, that was very disappointing there from Obed McCoy. I thought that he would have taken the bails off. He was way out of the picture there. Ravi Chandran Ashwin.
Why didn't he? Is it that he wants Ashwin there with just a few overs to go?
Very interesting.
Let's look at his bowling averages. We're going to come back to that. Here's McCoy down the leg side, signal wide, and of course it spills away from Captain Puran. They take two. So the West Indies, they've done well here, but they need to keep the pressure on, because at this point in time you don't want the Indians running away with this. I said earlier on, this looks like a 180 pitch. They're looking as if they're going to get up to that, but they could get even more if the West Indies lose it here in the end. I'm still perplexed as to why he did not remove the bails and run Ashwin out. Ashwin is on strike now.
Let's see if he can make amends, and take the wicket of Ashwin here to make up for that.
Yeah, he is. McCoy, he's in now on bowls outside the off stump, angled across Ashwin, and it goes through to skipper Puran. So he makes up for it there to an extent. This is his 16th T20 International. He has taken 22 wickets at an average of 18.27, an econ of 7.73, a best of 4 for 22. Well, you want him on your team every day.
Yeah, and coming into this series as well, he participated in the Vitality Blast for Sussex. He had 14 wickets in his 5 outings for Sussex as well, in England.
It was a big blow for the West Indies team at the World Cup in 2019 when he got injured early on and couldn't feature. That's well bowled, right up in the block hole, so to speak. Worked away by Ashwin for 1. So McCoy continues to be stingy.
Yeah, very stingy, Obed McCoy. He's been very economical, Obed McCoy. And much like Akhil Hussain did at the top of the innings for the West Indians. 2 left-armers. 1 left-arm orthodox spinner, 1 left-arm seamer.
Again, well bowled. Pitching right up. Coming forward, just easing it down to long off is Karthik. That's one more. It's 154 for 6. End of another very good over by Obed McCoy. With 2 overs to go, the latest score here at the Brownlow Cricket Academy in there, 154 for 6.
It's going to be interesting to see how Dinesh Karthik and Ravi Chandran Ashwin plays these final 2 overs. Karthik's like to take on the bowlers in these death overs. And this is going to be a test for Jason Holder as well, who we spoke about in that ODI series, who may have been an option for the West Indies at the death as well, along with Obed McCoy or Dominic Drake, so one of these guys who could have filled that void, even Kimo Paul. So this is going to be a test here for Jason Holder. He's done it in the past. He's no stranger to this area of the game.
Dead bowling has become a problem for the West Indies team, and you're seeing a beautiful exhibition today by Obed McCoy, and I'm thinking that the injection of Obed McCoy and Shemron Hetmeyer to this team here could make a serious difference.
Yeah, so the addition of Shimmer Hetmeyer as well, just boosting that batting lineup of the West Indies team. McCoy boosting the dead bowling. So, good move by the West Indies management staff to get those two guys in. Shimmer at It's good to see him back in the West Indies team after having some fitness concerns as well.
Well, it's unbelievable that there's still a long line to get into the stadium, which means that some of the fans may well get here for the West Indian reply, which is, I don't think they will mind that. They want to see the West Indies bat. I don't think they will mind that at all.
It's almost a packed house here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Fans stocking up the stands as we speak.
Samus worked away for one by Karthik. You can see Karthik just building up to probably an onslaught, you think?
Well, an odd shot he attempted there. So he was looking to reverse sweep Jason Holder, but in the end having to adjust. His delivery very full, and he had to remain deep in his crease there, and luckily he got back onto that, because had he missed, that could have been curtains for Dinesh Karthik. It was on the line of middle and leg stump. Had it hit the pad, well, he would have been gone leg before. Or had he missed it, it could have went through his legs as well, and he could have been bowled. But he's still there. He's living to fight another couple deliveries.
Here he is, and that swung away. That's 6 runs. 6 runs there from Ravichandran Ashwin, the man from Chennai, who must have eaten a lot of idli, which is the favorite food in Chennai, you know, Visham.
Yeah, well, as easy as you like. Maybe I need to eat some idli as well.
Idli, samba, and also dosa.
Yeah, top shot there. Short arm jab from Ravichandran Ashwin, and struck it away mightily into the Caribbean area there, where their cheerleaders are. Those 3 Carib Bears are as well. They were ducking for cover when that one went into that area. So something for the fans to cheer about. The Indian fans, that is. A welcome maximum as well.
Yeah. Putting that idli to good use. So it's 162 for 5. Yeah, he is now Holder driving outside the off stump and missing there. The idli master. 162 for 6.
Yeah, that's a good delivery there from Holder wide. So Ashwin not being able to access that. And it's good to see Dinesh Karthik as well walking up, having a chat with Ashwin, just to tell him, keep calm. Keep it simple. Don't look to try too much things here now.
Pulled away. That's 1. So the score goes on out to 163 for 6. This is the penultimate.
He's just falling away in that run rate a bit now. The Indians started off just around about 9 runs and over, and then, you know, just falling away now. They wouldn't have wanted this, and they would need some impetus here from Dinesh Karthik and Ravichandran Ashwin. Not much time to add that. Just about 9 balls to go in the innings.
Down to deep mid-wicket, and they're going to come back for 2. Oh, Puran looking to effect a run out. He's not happy with that fielding effort, and the score goes along now to 165, is it, for 6?
You can't keep Obed McCoy out of the game. That was him there getting around his right, stopping that one. It was a powerful shot from Dinesh Karthik, but McCoy did well. It wasn't the best of throws though. Back into the keeper.
Yes, Holder runs away from us now. He's up to the wicket, bowls, and it's a slug away. That's a huge 6 into the party stand. What a hit by Dinesh Karthik. It was in the slot, and all he had to do was to lift it with a strong wind blowing in that direction. It goes on out to 171 for 6. Karthik goes to 23.
Yeah, what a hit there from Dinesh Karthik. Picked up nicely off the legs and whipped away. I think that's the biggest 6 of the morning thus far for the Indians.
I think Holder should consider going round the wicket and bowling back off a line, looking to angle it across the short right-hander and pushing third man back. But he has other ideas. There's a short third man, backward point, and mid-off, as well as the sweeper, all on the offside. On the leg side, everyone is back on the boundary, barring a short fine leg. Holder, he's calling the sweeper on the cover boundary into the circle. He's sending backward point back on the boundary, and he seems to be wired to our broadcast. He's going around the wicket.
It's a smart move there by Jason Holder, doing the right thing. See if it works for him.
Here's Holder. Goes past the umpire now. West back of a length, square. And he pulled that fielder from that very spot on the cover boundary. It goes into the boundary now for 4. He should have left him there.
Well, I think, you know, we were calling for that move, but it wasn't the best of deliveries, you have to say, from Jason Holder. I think that what really caused that. It was too wide, it was too short, and Kartik likes that and taking full advantage of that, earning himself another boundary. He's on 27. This is a gem of a hand here from Dinesh Kartik, 27 or 14. This is the kind of innings you normally see from Kartik at the back end. He likes to finish the innings.
Well, he was building up to that. There are great finishers in the game, and he will want to emulate those. Michael Bevan was one. Bevan was such a great finisher, he could have even finished cooking your food. That was a big hit.
Speaking about finish as well, Jason Holder finishing his spell, 1 for 50 and 4.
Wow. That's not something that the former captain will want to remember. As I said before, you know, he's just working his way back to full fitness. He looked tired in the last game, although he has been away from the team for quite a while. But remember, he contracted COVID, and that takes a toll on you.
It does, and we saw it in the ODI as well. He didn't have the best of finishing that series when he came back in for that third ODI. Now into the T20. He was able to pick up a wicket though today.
175 for 6. This is the final over. And India putting up a very good score here. Here's McCoy, comes in and bowls. That's taking the outside edge, running just forward of Odin Smith, running in from the point boundary. They get 1. He continues to be impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. Those slower deliveries, using it to perfection. Obed McCoy. Hayden Walsh was running around there. He's a good fielder as well. From that backward point position, Odin Smith were coming in, but good communication between both players in the field.
Well, he has great variety. He will do well if he opens a restaurant. The score is 176 for 6, and he's going to come from the far end. He's bowling to Kartik, who has now retaken his guard. He has an off-stump guard. Here is McCoy, comes in and bowls him, looking to swing this away, and it goes through to Puran. Probably just clipping the tie pad. Back in the day, if someone took an off-stump guard, you would have looked at him in a very strange manner.
Yeah, I thought that he missed out there, but it was a good delivery.
He was through the shot before the ball came on. It was a slow delivery that actually struck him on the elbow. Here it is the left-handed McCoy. He runs in now and bowls, and this is in the air. A pitch-stop delivery, and it's going to go all the way for 6.
Yeah, towering blow there from Dinesh Kartik. Well pitched up, but it was a slow delivery. I think he was deceived a little bit there because that shot got height. It didn't really get that much distance, but a good delivery again. But just a bit unfortunate there for Obed McCoy. That went for 6.
Had long off been in place, he might have had a chance at it. It just went over the ropes for 6. So 182 now for the loss of 6. I said before, this was a 180 pitch.
73-meter blow there from Dinesh Kartik.
Here he is now. McCoy up to the wicket and bowls. Well, he's trying to play a reverse pull. It goes down to third man and we run away for 4. Well, that was an ugly shot, but a fruitful one.
And everything he's touching at the moment, Dinesh Kartik, is turning to gold. Can you say that's a reverse ramp? Not too sure how to describe that shot from Dinesh Kartik.
Well, it went for 4. You'll be happy with that. 186 for 6. 2 deliveries to go. Of course, McCoy will want to be sharp here. and not give away any no balls or wide, just to ensure the Indians don't go up to that magical 200 run mark, that psychological mark. He's going to go around the wicket now. McCoy has been good. 1 for 26, 2 deliveries to go. Yeah, here's from the far end. He's in now. Bowls to Karthik. Swing and a miss. Karthik sends back.
Ashwin has not been able to get a bite of the cherry just yet. Karthik, of course, he's seen it like a breadfruit at the moment. And he's doing all the hard work here for the Indians. Just having a word there with Ashwin, I'm sure. Maybe telling him if he misses out on anything, just look to get that run, get a run, finish off well.
Well, I'm sure they're glued to the televisions and, of course, to the radios in Chepauk area in Tamil Nadu, because both batsmen are from Tamil Nadu. That's at the south of India, formerly Madras, now called Chennai. Here he is now. He's in on bowls and driving, not in control here, but there's no one out there. It's going to go away for 4. 4 to end. India ends their innings on 190 for 6. And what an effort. What a strong effort at the back end. 41 not out of 19 balls. What an effort there by Dinesh Karthik.
Yeah, certainly Dinesh Karthik playing a magnificent hand. 41 not out. Another innings unbeaten from Dinesh Karthik. We've grown accustomed to seeing him do this in the T20 format, not just for India, but in the franchise cricket as well. But India, after failing to qualify for the knockouts in the World T20 in 2020, well, the World Cup in 2021, they were aiming to score above 9 runs and over, 9.45. In this year of 2022, they've scored 9.45 and over in T20 cricket, and well, they've gone above 9 runs and over here again, 190 for 6. I think this is going to be a daunting total for the West Indians.
190 for 6. It's a good batting track though. Rohit Sharma caught at Maya Bowl holder 64. Surya Kumar Yadav caught holder Bull Hussain 24. Shreyas Iyer caught Hussain Bull McCoy without scoring. Rishabh Pant caught Hussain Bull Paul 14. Hardik Pandya caught McCoy Bull Joseph 1. It was a good period for the West Indies. Ravindra Jadeja caught Paul Bull Joseph 16. But Dinesh Karthik 41 of 19 towards the back end of the innings. 4 4s and 2 6s. And Ravichandran Ashwin 13 not out of 10. They've taken them to 190 for 6. 17 extras, 8 wides, a no ball, 4 leg byes and 4 byes. Bowling, Obed McCoy, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 30. He was good. Holder, 4 overs, no maiden, 1 for 50. He was expensive. Akil Hussain, the pick of the bowlers, 4 overs, 1 for 14. Alzari Joseph, 4 overs, 2 for 46. He got important wickets, although being expensive. Odin Smith, 2 overs, none for 18. And Kimo Paul, 2 overs, 1 for 24. We take a short break. Join us shortly for the West Indies chase.
Stations, we are ready to return. We're going to count down in 3 seconds. 10 countdown. Starting from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in South Trinidad. It's West Indies versus India. The West Indies chasing down 191 for victory. India 190 for 6 earlier today, 64 from Rohit Sharma. The innings finished off nicely by Dinesh Karthik, 41 of 19 deliveries, exceptional from him. 1 for 34 with McCoy and Akil Hussain, 1 for 14, but not a lot good to write about from the West Indies bowlers after that. I'm Vidya Ramphal alongside Colin Murray here. And Colin, we knew that India would get in the region of 180. They have scored at over 9 and over 4 all of their matches in T20s for the year, and this was always going to be on the cards.
Yeah, I thought West Indies let it get away a little bit though, Vidya, at 138 for 6. I was thinking maybe if they could have kept the Indians down to 170 or thereabouts, they would have been in good stead. They would have, but to get to 190, now that the West Indies target is 191, that's going to take some batting. The thing is, you look at the bowling for the West Indies, the lone spinner on the team, he had 4 overs, 1 for 14. India, they've got 3 spinners, so it's going to be tough because the ball doesn't seem to be coming onto the bat when the spinner is bowling. So it's going to be a situation where they've got to score as many as they can off the quicker bowlers, and then when the spinners come in, try to rotate the strike and see if you could put away the bad ball.
Wondering which is the home team here, because India obviously have read the conditions very well. They were here earlier this year in the Under-19 World Cup. They scored over 400 runs, their Under-19 team, and one of their legends, VVS Lakshman, was there. So that intelligence has been handed back to the senior team. Here is the start. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will bowl the first deliveries, bowling to the left-handed Kyle Mayers. Brooks is the other batter at the other side. So Brooks and Mayers, 2 Barbadians starting off here. And Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, what a performer he's been.
Yeah, Kumar has been he's a steady influence. He's not very pacey, but he moves the ball. Here's Kumar with the first delivery, and Mayers there. You're looking at Mayers. Mayers is just pushing that delivery out, but he, if anything short or too well up, Mayers is going to go after Kumar, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so a nice quiet start to the game. West Indies have India. They've played 20 times in all. West Indies have won 6 of those matches, lost 13, and they've scored 8.15 against India. So they're always good to get in the region of 160. The most famous match was that World Cup semi-final back in 2016. Here is Kumar in from the southern end, over the wicket, bowling to Mayers, and this is high over mid-on, and that's gone away for 4. He was advancing on Kumar, tried to shorten it up, but Mayers was equal to it, and that was hit well for 4.
Yeah, I like the idea of Mayers opening in the T20 format because he puts the bowlers under pressure very early. You could see him looking to attack Kumar. As I said, Kumar is very steady. He bowls a good line, he bowls a good length. But immediately, Mayers has put him onto the back foot because they've taken out that slip now, and they've put the slip towards, I would say, a wideish, well, he's gone to a deep mid-wicket. Well, they're still not making up their mind. Yeah, they've now put a deep mid-wicket, but the slip has gone to mid-on. So they've got 2 men on that leg side right out on the boundary. That's the deep mid-wicket and the deep backward square.
Short third man, short fine leg in place as Mayers turns this one to the vacant mid-wicket area and gets 1, and that'll bring the right-handed Brooks back on. Mayers, the 29-year-old, really arrived in international cricket with that 210 not out against Bangladesh, but in T20s he's had 10 games. This is his 11th, averages just 26.75, but his strike rate has always been impressive, 145.56, just a 150 to go with it. Still very young in his career.
Oh, certainly very young in his career. Brooks is going to interest me. It's going to let's see how he shapes up.
Kumar into Brooks. The right-hander is pulling this one high over mid-wicket. That will go close to the boundary. There's a fielder running in, but he gets around it quite well, and they get 2 more. So Shamar Brooks, the man from St. Michael in Barbados, the 33-year-old, playing in only his 7th T20 match. Yeah,
I looked at him in the, and the reason I said it's going to be interesting to see how he shapes up. I looked at him in the ODI format. And what I liked about Shamar Brooks, he was playing his shot, very orthodox shot, but he was getting the ball to the boundary. He was finding the gap. So it's going to be interesting how he goes here.
His average is 15.20. That's almost carried just to the left of the fielder, and that goes away past wide of third man, down for 4 runs. There's quite a tight field that they have there. A short third man and a backward point, and it went between both of them for 4.
Yeah, well, he's playing his shot, so he's made his intentions quite clear. He's not going to push and prod. He's going to look to take on the bowler, and he's certainly taken on Kumar 2 very, very good shots. That one went between, as you said, the short third man and the backward point.
Kumar to Brooks, and Brooks is playing this one in front of him. He's going for the single. He's sent back, and there may have been a single there. Mayers was never interested, and it has gone begging. So after 1 over, West Indies have started well, 11 without loss here, with Mayers on 5 and Brooks on 6. Latest score here from the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Yeah, it's a good track. So I think Brooks and Mayers, they're going to play their shots, especially against the medium pacers. I think when the spinners come on, they've got to be a little bit more circumspect. But, the thing is, if you're going to attack the bowlers and put the bowlers under pressure, this pitch is good enough for batting. We'll have to wait and see when the Indians introduce the spinners, because I would have thought they may have started with Jadeja or Ashwin. They've opted not to do that, and they've brought Singh into the attack from the broadcaster and the commentary end as the medium pacer. As I said, I thought they may have started with spin video.
Left-arm medium pacer is Ashdeep Singh, the man from Guna, the 23-year-old. There were complaints online from Indian fans that is he a tourist here, because they felt he should have played in the ODI series instead of Khan. Here he is now, the left armer over the wicket from the northern end. This is hit straight back over his head for 6 runs. It is into the Indian dugout, and that is welcome to Taruba to Ashdeep Singh.
That is a good shot. That is a top shot from Kyle Mayers. It was pitched up to him, and all he did was he was playing right through the line. He hit it high. He just got that right leg out of the way to give himself some room, and he hoiked it straight back towards where a long on would be. But even if there was a long on, he would have had no chance, and it sailed over the boundary for 6. 6 good-looking runs for Kyle Mayers.
18th T20 match here for Singh. He's in now to Mayers, and the left-hander maybe got an under edge onto that. He didn't. It actually just went too wide, and it has been signaled so by umpire Nigel Duguid. That'll be rebowled 18 without loss.
Yeah, there was Singh looking now to carry that ball a little wider from the off stump, because the first ball, it was pitched maybe about middle and off, and all Mayers did was get that right leg out of the way. So Singh now decided, after seeing that shot, he decided to go a little wide of the off stump, but he's gone far too wide. We see a change in the field now, Vidya. The man at mid-on, he's gone back to long on, and the deep square cover has come into the orthodox square cover position.
Singh to Mayers again, and Mayers hitting this high over cover. That's going to bounce away for 4 runs. The man was brought in from that area, so he's gone a little bit full and wide, but not full enough. And Mayers was equal to the task. And Ashdeep Singh, the former India under 23 player, under some pressure here.
Well, you've got to decide which side of the wicket you're going to bowl. If you're going to bring that man in from the deep cover position into the orthodox cover point position, and then you bowl that ball wide of the off stump, then you're asking for trouble. So he cannot afford to give Kyle Mayers the width. He's got to bowl stump to stump. Maybe put it at middle and off, and hope that he goes across the line and try to get to long on. Now they're not too sure what's happening. They've taken the long on back out, they've brought him to mid on, and they've sent the cover point right back out on the boundary. That tells me he's going to go wide of the off stump.
Yeah, certainly does. And this man usually nails his Yorkers. Here's Singh into ball to Kyle Mayers, and it's a short delivery. He's propped it up into the air. He's going to be caught. Yes, he is. Caught at mid-on, and the short delivery has taken the wicket. Ashdeep Singh stands with his hands to his side and looking up at the heavens. He celebrates the first wicket, and West Indies have lost their first. Mayers goes for 15, 22 for 1.
Kyle Mayers looks so good, and then finds all sorts of ways to get out. That was a nothing shot. He stood there. It was a short delivery. It was wide of the off stump, and all Mayers did is stand there, hung his bat out to dry, and the ball just hit the top edge, went ballooned in there, and a simple catch for at mid-wicket. Now, it's either he's playing the shot wide on the off stump, cut it, that's Holder going in. It's either he's going to play it wide of the off stump or leave it alone. But it was a nothing shot. He just hung his bat out there, and the bat didn't hit the ball hit the bat and just went straight up into the air. He looked so comfortable, Kyle Mayers. He was dominating the bowling. He was putting them under pressure, and he finds a way to get out. Incredible.
It was a case of love me or leave me alone, and definitely he should have left that one alone. Singh has celebrated his first wicket. The former India under 19, India under 23, Kings 11 Punjab player, and he has the first wicket for India here. 22 for 1 in front of this massive crowd here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Ticket sales were in the region of 9,000 and above, we're told. Here is Singh now, left armour bowling to the tall figure of Holder. Hits him on the pad, the thigh pad that is, and there is no run. Rohit Sharma attempts to kick the ball onto the stumps, misses completely. I don't expect a call from Manchester United anytime soon. Rohit. India getting 64 from Sharma, 41 not out from Dinesh Karthik, 190 for 6. In the last 5 overs, Colin, India got 59 runs, and they were going along at a strike rate of 196.
That is where West Indies really... That is where West Indies really got away from it, because, as I said, they were 138 for 6, and they had the thing under control. And all of a sudden, Dinesh Karthik, give Karthik credit, he batted well, 41 not out from 19 deliveries. But really and truly, at the end of it, you have to say West Indies did not bowl well.
Singh to Holder again, and Holder is trying to play this one in front of him, comes out the pad, and wow, that was very, very close to the stumps. It stopped maybe a foot or two away from it.
Did it really stop from the stumps, or did it just roll into the bottom of the stumps?
I'm wondering if it did. With those heavy bails that they use now, that's going to be interesting to see. 22 for 1, Holder has still yet to score, and Singh has bowled well to start off here. Still looking out for the replay to find out what happened. The batsmen are talking in the middle at the moment.
Yeah, when you think of it, Cal, he has 15 from 6 deliveries. He was so much in control. He was batting well, and unbelievable that he's just given away his knock.
Here's Singh to Holder. He's in now, the left armour, and this one is hit through the cover region, straight to extra cover, and there is no run. So Holder stays on 0. Brooks is on 6. West Indies 22 for 1 after 2 overs. That's the latest score here from the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
I'm a little surprised to see Holder coming in at number 3. I'm not sure what the plan is, but when you look through this bat inside, this West Indies bat inside, you've got Hetmeyer, you've got Puran. Maybe they don't want to risk Hetmeyer coming in at 3, but I would have thought that Hetmeyer, get him in early, let him get a good sighter, and carry on from there. But they've decided to go with Jason Holder, who is in fact, we've said, he's just coming back from illness. And, I think you were mentioning in the third ODI, he was looking a little bit as he needed some WD-40. And maybe he still does. I didn't think he bowled well today as well. 4 overs for 54 runs. But he's not involved. He's not the Jason Holder as we know him. But the change in bowling.
Ravindra Jadeja comes in, and the first ball just hitting Brooks on the pad, no run. So another 2 Barbadians here. So 3 Barbadians at the top here for the West Indies. It's the right-handed Brooks, short of the 2 batters, and he's facing up to Ravi Jadeja, left arm round the wicket. Here he is in now to bowl to Brooks. Oh, almost a return catch. He had that powerfully back to him. One bounce into the hands of Jadeja.
Well, we are already seeing with Jadeja, with his first 2 deliveries, not creating problems.
Jadeja, this one's hit high over the fielder at mid-on, and that's run away for 4 runs. Not the easiest shot there, but Brooks maybe getting a little bit shorter delivery from Jadeja and pulls that away for 4.
Yeah, that's a very good shot from Shamar Brooks. He made some room for himself, and he lifted it wide of mid-on. And I was about to say that the ball now from Jadeja, as we saw with Akil Hussain, it's not coming onto the mat. So Brooks has really got to reach for it and look to play his shots.
Here's Jadeja again around the wicket. This is a reverse sweep by by Brooks. It doesn't make any contact with the bat, off the pad, and there's no run. Ravindra Jadeja, what a character he is, and wearing a lot larger hair than we've seen him previously in the Caribbean. He's round the wicket again to Brooks, makes some room, hits that down to wide, long off, and picks up one. And Jadeja, quite experienced, 33 years old now, the man from Gujarat, and averaging 28.85 with the ball.
Yeah, he's very experienced, and you could see that he's a wonderful all-round cricketer. You know, his left arm spin is good.
Here's Jadeja again. Holder is making some room, and he hits the middle stump, and Holder goes. A scratchy innings from Jason Holder. He's gone for a duck, and the West Indies are 27 for 2. Never looked comfortable while he was bowling, and certainly looked even more uncomfortable here in batting for the West Indies. Holder's not quite himself, and he's gone 4-0.
Well, the experiment didn't work. Holder coming in at number 3, and he was backing away. It was very strange, looking to give himself room to play that ball through the offside, and it may have just turned away from him and hit the middle and off. But really and truly, Jason Holder not yet back to his best, and we'll have to wait and see just how he performs during the course of this ODI series. Of course, the loud applause is for the West Indies captain.
Nicholas Pooran, the man from Central Trinidad, is in now to do battle for the West Indies. And as he's coming in, and as the announcement goes on that Pooran is out there, the crowd rise to their feet away to our right. And the first sign of a Trini out there. There are only 2 of them in the ODI squad, Pooran and Akil Hussain. Both of them have had good games so far, but a big task here for Pooran. The scoring rate still, though, is not bad. 9.50, Colin, and at 27 for 2. Pooran's coming in. You would expect that Hetmeyer would be the next man in.
Yeah, the thing is, it's the run rate is not bad, but they've lost 2 wickets, and the opener in terms of the 2 wickets they've lost, Kyle Mayers, a very big hitter of the ball. It's really disappointing. He is gone, because you would have thought that if they had to keep up to 8-9 runs and over, Myers would have had to play a big part. But Pooran, who's been in some good form lately, I was about to say he's been catching good performances.
Here's Singh from the northern end. Shorter delivery pulled away by Brooks. It's not going to carry to the boundary or to the fielder. And he gets one shorter delivery here from Arshdeep Singh. And with his height, he gets the ball to swing in. He also bowls a very good short ball. But when it comes to Yorkers, we haven't seen too many of them. No. He bowled the most Yorkers in IPL 2022. He nailed 38 of those.
Yeah, but just getting back to Pooran, some real eye-catching performances in the last couple of ODIs. So he would be feeling very confident and very comfortable coming out here. And the crowd must be hoping that he puts on a good performance.
And that's the problem sometimes with Pooran. When he's in some form, he sometimes forgets you need to play yourself in. You still need to play yourself in those, because we've seen in previous games he'll come in and first ball he'll try to go after it immediately, get himself dismissed. Here is Arshdeep Singh running away from us now. He's over the wicket. He's bowling to the left-handed Nicholas Pooran, who crouches, plays this one down to in front of him. It trickles behind the stumps, and there is no run. Thought about the single initially. So India on top here. They got an opening partnership of 44 between Yadav and Sharma, and that started them in a good way up to the 5th over.
Oh yeah, and that's the big difference. The start India got, they were scoring at 8-9 runs and over, but they didn't lose wickets until the score was on 44. And when Yadav went for 24 and the score was at that point in time 44, West Indies, they're only up to 28, and they've already lost 2 wickets, and that is the danger for them.
Pooran is out there. There is a short third man. There's a backward point and a very short cover in place for Singh, who's into Pooran, playing this on the onside, goes for a single, he's sent back, and it's a good decision too, because the fielder was onto it very quickly and sends it back in. I think that was Pant who ran around. Is it Pant?
No,
Pant has the gloves on today.
Yeah, it looks like Karthik actually.
In fact, the 2 little wicket keepers for India.
But Pooran looking to get, he's not both deliveries, it's a no ball, so this is going to help Nicholas Pooran, because it's now going to be a free hit. So you would expect Pooran is going to go after Singh, and that would give him a little bit of, if he does make a connection with the delivery, it would give him some confidence. But the two deliveries he's faced so far, I think it's been good deliveries from Singh, just back of a length, and he couldn't do very much with it. Let's see what's going to happen with this delivery.
He's eyeing the cover region. Here he is facing up to Singh. Let's see what he does. He drives it straight, and Singh gets a foot to it and stops it, but can't prevent a single. So that's one more to Puran, so not a big punishment here. 2 runs with the no ball and, of course, the run scored by Puran. 31 for 2. Nicholas Puran on 1. Brooks on 12. Brooks has looked good so far.
Yeah, Brooks has been trying to get after the bowling. He's hasn't played many risky shots per se. He's hit one over a wideish mid-on, and he's looking to attack the bowling, which is a good sign. He's just got to be careful that he picks the right ball to play the shots to.
Looks like Arshdeep Singh is going to go round the wicket. The man who's played, as we mentioned, his 18 to ODI for India and never played one-day international cricket. Here he is round the wicket to the right-handed Brooks, who's playing the square of the wicket. He will get 1, and that's a nice tumbling stop by Jadeja. So 1 more to the total. And Arshdeep Singh, 1 for 15 so far. 1 ball remaining in his second over.
Yeah, it's been a very quiet over so far. He's kept things tight. Bowled a good line, a good length. Even that delivery to Brooks was right up to him. Couldn't do very much with it. Had to, almost in the block hole, and he was digging it out, playing it out. It came off the middle of the bat. It was well timed, and he was getting it out to the left of the man at an extra cover. He picked up a single. But even that free hit to Nicholas Puran was a delivery right up to him, Yorker length.
Singh to Puran again, and the little left-hander is trying to pull this one. Came off the edge and went down to short third man. Maybe a little bit slower than he felt. There's no run to end off the over. At the end of 4, the West Indies are 31 for 2. Nicholas Puran on 1, and Brooks on 13. That is the latest score here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Yeah, so Puran just on 1, trying to come to terms with the bounce and the pace of this wicket at the moment. Arshdeep mixing up his deliveries. Arshdeep Singh, I thought he bowled a good second over, just going for 4 runs in this second over, but he was mixing up deliveries, just back of a length, slower deliveries, the Yorker length delivery, and it was a good second over from him, and I think Rohit Sharma would be pleased with that over.
Required rate is almost up to 10 already. It's 9.9 at the moment.
He's got another ball.
Yeah, he actually has. Yeah, I think that was the ball that the no ball earlier. This one's played on the onside. There is 1 here for Puran. It could have been that there was another signal that came from the third umpire. So that should be the end of the over. After 4, West Indies 32 for 2. Puran on 2. Brooks is on 13. That is the latest score here from the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Yeah, just going on and over the West Indies. And as I said, that wouldn't bother them too much in terms of the run rate. They still require 159 runs to win from 96 deliveries. So the actual 8 runs and over, that's okay. The problem is, and again I make the point, they've lost 2 wickets, that of Mears and Holder. And these two would want to keep going for a while, keep that run rate to just about 8. But the important thing is not to lose any more wickets. These two need to carry on for a while and maybe just get a partnership going. That is what is needed now by the West Indies.
Nicholas Puran, the left-hander, facing up. Remarkably similar figures for West Indies and India when you consider their averages. Both of them averaged 32 point, just a marginal difference between them. And they also have, in terms of runs scored, just about the same for the year. This one, Puran, the first delivery is hit high. Is he caught? No, he's caught. It's tossed back into the field. So that's not going to be 6 runs. The fielder got to it, got the hands to it, and as he was falling over, flung it back on. The first delivery from Ravi Ashwin, and that has saved a couple of runs here. 2 for Puran.
I think the man out there is Iyer. Now, he's a very good catcher in the deep. We've seen that in the ODIs. He's taking many good catches. Here, he realized he was going over the boundary with the ball, and he was diving. He flung it back into play and had to get up, retrieve it, but not before they were able to cross for 2 runs. But Puran already trying to get after Ashwin.
Yeah, the off spinner also has that carom ball which goes the other way, comes back into the left-hander, and I think Iyer is okay because that right foot of his was on the ground as he took the catch. Now he takes the catch, we're looking at the replay, and the right foot just coming down close to the ropes. He's flung it back. think he's okay. They might give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Well, yeah.
Might have to use a magnifying glass.
He has to get the benefit of the doubt because that looked that the right boot may have very well touched the bong. They're looking at it about 3-4 times because the right boot looked as if it touched the boundary board when he caught the ball. So
yeah, there's a shadow there also, so that's why it's not picked up clearly on the camera. The magnifying glass may have to come off, and well, he's nothing wrong with the toss. He's thrown it back as he was going down, so he didn't touch the ground on the other side. You're looking at it maybe for the 5th time or 6th time here.
Vidya, he seems to be all right, so he just gets the benefit of the doubt as far as I'm concerned.
Pooran on 4, Brooks on 13. Here is Ashwin. He's coming round the wicket again to Pooran. And Pooran is playing this on the offside. They run a single down to short third man. Pooran did not read that one at all. I think that was the carom ball. That was the off spinner because he was playing for a ball outside the off stump. And then he had to adjust suddenly to his left to stop it.
You could see him. He started to come on that front foot, and it was just a good delivery, just back of a length and turning. And you could see Pooran at the end just had to quickly adjust the bat and open the face of the bat and guided it down to that short third man to pick up a single. But a good delivery from Ashwin.
Wide third man and a point in place for Ashwin to the right-handed Brooks, who is coming down the track and powers that straight back over his head for 6 runs. Brooks is batting fearlessly today here, and the West Indies are moving up now to 41 for 2.
That's an excellent shot by Shamar Brooks. He looked at his field. There's a man at long on. There's a mid-off, and he played that deliberately, got onto the front foot, and he lifted it over mid-off. That's a gorgeous shot.
Here's Ashwin again, and Brooks is getting onto the back foot. Faster delivery, plays it straight to extra cover. There is no run this time. He's learned his lesson. Flight does not help you at all here at at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Yes, it's Brooks. I'm enjoying the knock from Shamar Brooks because you could see he's looking to score runs at every opportunity. He's taking the attack to the bowlers, and we know that Shamar Brooks is a touch player. Here, though, he's opening his shoulders and going after the bowling.
Cover point. There's now a backward point and a wide third man here for Brooks, who's hitting this one on the leg side, predictably straight out to mid-wicket, and there's just one run for him. So he is up into the 20s now. He's 20, and Colin, his strike rate is 116.92. Not great for this format, but he is one certainly, if he can fire in this series, could find himself a candidate to get to that West Indies team for the World Cup.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, and I'm sure he's going to look to try and take his opportunity.
Ashwin to Pooran, who certainly will be there. He's playing the square of the wicket straight to the fielder. There's no run, and Pooran trying to make some room. That is the end of the first over from Ashwin. 10 runs off his first over. The West Indies, after 5 overs, are 42 for 2. Pooran on 5, Brooks on 20. That's the latest score here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Yeah, a good over for the West Indies because when you think of it, Ashwin, very experienced, went for 10 in the over, and Shamar Brooks was the one who was getting after him. The very first ball, Pooran tried to hit him over the deep mid-wicket position. In the end, he got 2 runs because of a brilliant bit of fielding by Iyer, who ran the ball just over the boundary line and had to throw it back into play, or else it would have been 6. But good still, a good over for the West Indies, and they're still going just about 8 runs and over. And as I said, Vidya, if they can keep this to about 8 runs and over, don't lose any more wickets over the next few overs, they would think that the 191 is very much gettable.
Yes, very much so. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is going to be switched around to the northern end. The sunshine is very bright. It's just about 1 o'clock here. And here's the right-hander, Kumar. He's running in now to bowl he was just a trial run, really. I'm not sure if Brooks was really ready for that. Brooks seemed to be ready. Kumar was just getting the cobwebs out of the system. And Kumar started. His first over cost 11 runs. So he is in now. Says some stretching and going on in the field in front of him. Here he is now, bowling to Brooks. Short delivery outside the off stump from the man from Uttar Pradesh. And there's no run.
That delivery was short. It was wide of the off stump. And not signal a wide because Brooks, I think he was caught a little off guard. It was a delivery he could have probably just tried to get after wide of the off stump, but it was one of those sort of bouncy deliveries that pitched and bounced over the batsman's head, but not high enough to be called a wide. Very interesting field now. 6 men on the offside in run-saving positions.
That's right. Here's Bhuvaneshwar Kumar in again to the right-handed Brooks, and he's bowled him, hit the leg stump, played all around that one. Maybe that one seaming back into Brooks, and his head was high in the air, and the stumps have gone. So West Indies losing their 3rd wicket. Brooks is gone for 20. Pooran is there on 5, and more trouble for the West Indies.
Another bad shot. Brooks was in control of the situation, and Kumar, another customer who is tends to bowl a good line, tends to bowl a good length, does a little bit with the ball. It came back at Brooks. Now he was looking to hit it high over a wideish long on, and that's where he was looking. Never looked at the ball, and the ball crashed into the middle and leg stumps, and he goes now. Unfortunately, he was batting so well, but goes for 20 and head in the air. Unfortunately, to a delivery. Good delivery from Kumar, just back of a length, angled into the right-hander, and we see another batsman, well set, looking good, goes at a very inopportune time for the West Indies.
Yeah, certainly. It couldn't get worse than that, but we were hoping and thinking, and fans from Guyana were hoping it's going to be Hetmeyer. It's not. It's going to be Rovman Powell, who is in the middle order batsman out of Jamaica. He's here for the West Indies team, and Powell, who's played a lot of T20 cricket, 127 games, but at this level, 42 games, he averages 26.34, and he has a pretty healthy strike rate of 141, 104 50s for Powell. He needs to add to those two statistics in particular.
He certainly does need to add to those statistics. He's improved a lot over the last year. His batting has improved, especially in the T20 format. And he's been playing in the IPL. He's been doing well, and he should have some confidence. Didn't have a very good ODI series, but this is his format, and this is where he should step up.
Yes, Kumar into him, playing it square the wicket. There is no run. It's a misfield, but still, they're not going to get the run. On the offside, there are 5 players in a sort of a blue net there. There's a short third man. There's a backward point, a point. In fact, 2 men in that backward point position. There is a cover point, an extra cover. So those 5 for this delivery outside the off stump from Kumar is certainly well defended by India.
His first over, Kumar, he went for 11 so far. The 3 balls in this over, dot, wicket and dot.
Kumar to Rovman Powell, plays it out in front of him. They're going to send back because Rohit Sharma is there. He's not the fastest across the ground, but still he was in so quickly that Powell could not get there. So West Indies under some pressure here, 42 for 3. And you mentioned the improvement in Powell, and that improvement especially has come against spin, which seemed to be a big weakness for him.
Oh yeah, it certainly has been. And I think he would be disappointed with his performance in the ODIs against the very Indians. He must have felt that we see the umpire having a word with Rohit Sharma. I'm wondering if it's to do with Kumar, because he was running straight down the wicket, straight down the pitch, and the umpire had a word with him, and he's gone across and has spoken to Sharma. So that's going to be interesting if Kumar continues to run in his follow-through, run straight down the pitch.
Well, yeah, that's very interesting. The umpire intervening here. Here's Kumar. He's into Powell, playing this out towards that short third man position. There is no run, and once again he's kept it very quiet here. And got mixed up 2 different words. And that net there, a very interesting field here for the Indians to Powell, trying to keep him quiet outside the off stump.
Yeah, and he's just bowling those deliveries with no pace whatsoever, and just outside the line of the off stump, and Powell can't do very much with it.
Kumar in once again to Powell, and Powell is playing this off the edge. That one goes down to short third man. He can't score off it. He's been kept scoreless. So the West Indies, the power play has now ended. After 6 overs, the West Indies are 42 for 3. India were 45 for 2. That is the latest situation here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
What an over from Kumar, a maiden wicket. You don't see that very often in T20 cricket, but you've seen it here. The West Indies, they now still require 149 from 84 deliveries But more importantly, they've lost 3 wickets. And you would have to think this partnership again, they've not been able to build partnerships, and that's the problem. Puran and Powell, the 2 Ps, they've got to get together here and really take this attack apart, but they've got to do it sensibly. They've got to pick up the singles. In the last over, Powell couldn't get the ball away. He couldn't even get a single. So they've got to analyze the situation, look for the singles, and try and get after the Indian bowling, because if they can't, it means that run rate is going to continue to creep up from 8 to 9 to 10, and then it's going to get certainly out of hand.
Here's Pandya from the southern end. His first delivery of the match, and this one is played by Puran down to short third man, and there's one. The fielder was in quickly but couldn't stop the single. Hardik Pandya, one of the stars of Indian cricket, and he is in here. He was interviewed earlier today. He's saying how wonderful it was to be here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Of course, Brian Lara, enormously popular, not just around the world, but especially in India.
Oh, that's for sure. He's as popular in India as he is in the Caribbean. And Brian Lara, of course, this wonderful facility here, named after the superstar, the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, took a while for it to get going, but it's certainly a wonderful facility.
A while, you say? Well, I'm reminded that Rome wasn't built in a day, so maybe something
really
along those lines. Here's Pandya from the southern end once again. He's bowling to the right-handed Powell, who's turning us on the onside. They could get 2 here, but they've only gone for 1. And Ashwin misfields, but still they can't get the second run. And Pandya, the man from Gujarat, 28-year-old, and he and his brother Krunal Pandya have played for several of the Mumbai Indians for several years. Now with the Gujarat Titans, the Pandya. And what a record he's had for India in this particular format. And with the ball in particular, 87 matches, 79 wickets, and he averages maybe 38.49, maybe a bit expensive there, Colin, but his economy rate is exceptional. 5.39 per over. Anything under 6 in this format is exceptional.
Oh, it certainly is exceptional.
Here is Pandya now from the southern end. He's over the wicket bowling to Puran, pulling this one away. Short delivery, and he will get 1. Puran just ambles through for 1. So he's going to mix up his lengths here already.
Yeah, he is. He's not a pacey type of bowler, but he uses his variation, which is important. He bowls some back of a length, bowls a little bit quickish out wide of the off stump. He tries to get that ball coming back into the batsman. So he's a tricky customer. You've just got to be careful in terms of how you attack him.
Here is Pandya again from the southern end, running past the umpire, bowling to Powell. That's pulled away straight to Ashwin, who is in that fine leg position, maybe a bit wider of Ashwin. There were 2 fielders out in the deep behind square, picked out one of them and just 1 for Powell. West Indies trying to rebuild here, losing wickets at 22, 27 and 42, Colin.
Yeah, certainly are trying to rebuild, but these 2 so far so good in this over. 4 singles. They would look for a boundary. Nicholas Puran certainly settling in nicely now. He's faced 10 deliveries for his 7.
Here's Pandya to Puran, who launches this high over mid-wicket into the stands for 6 runs. That one had some airtime on it, and Pandya is greeted here with a 6.
Yeah, and you just had to think that Nicholas Puran, he was settling in nicely. He was pushing the ball around. He was getting the pace. He was getting the bounce of this pitch. And you just had to say it was just a matter of time before he picked the right ball. And that was an almighty hit over a square leg for 6. It has also brought up the 50, but more importantly, with that 6, it should give Puran some confidence.
Certainly will. 52 for 3. Here is Pandya again to Puran. Another short delivery, a little bit slower this time, and he missed out on that one. That is the end of the first over here from Pandya. 7 overs in the books. The West Indies 52 for 3. Puran's 13. Powell is 2. That's the latest score here from the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
And just as I suspected, he's going to mix up his deliveries. That one was short, but it was slower, wider of the off stump. Now the ball that Puran hit for 6, that was a delivery, good pace on it, coming into Puran, and all Puran had to do was to hit it over square leg. So he decided, Pandya, he's going to put this one outside the line of the off stump, slower, asked Puran to reach for it, and certainly Puran couldn't make contact, and it went through to the keeper. So Pandya is as a tricky customer. Yes, you can take him apart, but you've got to be careful. The type of deliveries he bowls, he mixes up these deliveries, and you've got to be very careful when you're going after him.
Certainly, and here's Jadeja to continue his second over. First one for 5. This one's from the northern end, and Powell is playing this one down to long on. We'll pick up 1 here, and Pandya, he just has a really great cricket IQ, and yes, he was punished the ball before, came back very well.
Oh, he did come back very well. Interestingly, now Jadeja is into the attack, and I would think that Nicholas Pooran is going to fancy this a little bit with Jadeja maybe just turning the deliveries into the left-hander. He's going to eye that deep mid-wicket position. He's going to eye the deep square leg, Nicholas Pooran. And if Jadeja only over pitches, it could be problems.
Yes, Jadeja wide. Oh, that one turned a lot, and Pooran still manages to get a good late cut on this, which could run away for 4. That is an absolutely brilliant shot from Pooran. He was beaten by it, but had the composure to recover and cut it away for 4.
Oh, that was pure timing on the part of Pooran. It was wide of the off stump. It came in. He was looking at square drive. He was backing away. And all of a sudden, that ball turned quite appreciably into the left-hander. And what he did, he just angled the bat, got it away from the man at backward point. All timing. And that's a superb shot. 4 more to Pooran.
There's a short third man in place and a backward point for Jadeja. Here's Pooran cutting this one straight to short third man. He will get 1 as a misfield. So 5 runs off those 2. And, if you think about all those great players you've seen, Colin, the ability to change a shot mid-stroke is certainly one of the features of the greats.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it. And he was beaten by that delivery because it came back at him. And the shot he played was absolutely superb.
Slip in place here for Powell. And this is Jadeja. That one's faster, homing in on the off stump. He's going to slow it up and look for some more spin because we've seen Powell struggle against the ball, turning away from him. The left arm orthodox spin of Jadeja. Powell's coming down the track. He's hit that one flat. He is missed by Arshdeep Singh, who went up high, and that has gone all the way. He was on the long on boundary, went up high into the air. If he couldn't reach that, nobody could.
Well, the thing is, Powell used his feet. I thought he started to come down the track a little too early. Jadeja didn't pick it up. Now, this was a flat hit, and I just think that Singh, he may have just mistimed his jump and went up a little too early.
That could be a possibility. Here's Jadeja and Powell playing this one through mid-wicket. Next one for 1 as it goes down towards the boundary. Powell's looking good here already, but we've seen that there have been several false dawns here for the West Indies. After 8 overs, the West Indies 65 for 3. Powell on 10, Pooran on 18. Both batsmen getting boundaries in that over. Latest score from the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
No, the run rate has gone back up to 8 and over with those couple of boundaries or the couple of 6s in the previous over off of by Pooran, and then in this over the 6 by Powell. So it has brought the run rate back up to 8 runs and over, and 126 now needed from the 12 overs. Yeah, that's just about 10 runs and over, but they've got to keep it around 8, 9. They can't allow it to build too much. And these two, they're starting to look in good nick. And from a West Indies point of view, they would want to see them carrying on.
Certainly would. 13 runs in the over there. And here we see the return of Ashwin, just the 1 over for 10 runs. The off spinner is over the wicket. Powell beaten by that into flight, but he still gets a single as he squeezes it out behind point. And that's just 1 to him. Iyer is there speeding across to make the stop. Certainly didn't know where that was going.
No, it just came off the outside edge. And luckily for him, it was along the ground, but it was slow enough for them to look for that single, and in the end they got home comfortably. See the field on the onside now. When you look at that field video, there's a long on, a deep mid wicket, a deep backwards way, and a short fine leg. Nobody close in on the onside.
Ashwin again, this time to Pooran. Has he taken the edge here? Yes, he's given. Trying to cut that one, and that one didn't read the line of it well. Took the edge and well taken by Pant, and that is a massive blow here. Ashwin has struck it. His figures 1 for 11. Pooran's gone, caught behind for 18.
Yeah, again, Nicholas Pooran comes back, walks back very dejectedly. I don't think it was the shot to play. It was just outside the line of the off stump, and he should have been playing that somewhere towards extra cover mid-off. He looked to cut it, but it was not the shot on. It was much too close to him. And Nicholas Puran, another promising innings, comes to an end. Caught pant off of Ashwin for 18 from 15 deliveries. And all of a sudden, West Indies now, they continue to slide here, 66 for 4.
So that has brought, finally, it is Puran gone, the young Trinidadian and the captain of the West Indies is out. But here is, it is Shimron Hetmeyer is going to be in now, and Shimron Hetmeyer returns to fitness. He's back on the West Indies team, and the fans in Guyana are suddenly munching a lot faster on their popcorn. The 25-year-old is back in.
Yeah, it's good to see Shimron Hetmeyer back in the team. I think he's a wonderful player, and when he's in form, he can take on any bowling attack. And one has to hope that he settles in here on this pitch, and if he can, he is another one that can create problems for the Indian bowling attack. But from India perspective, so far so good. You look at the batsmen out. Mayers for 15 from 6 deliveries. He looks
one on the onside, picks up one. He's thinking about two, but the fielder is into it quickly. That's Singh, and keeps it down to 1. But it was that COVID period that he really is weight. I mean, it is obvious. I mean, it's not that we're saying anything disparaging to him, but his weight suddenly went up after that.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And you look at him. He's such a talented player, and I think Dwayne Bravo was making the point. The talented players are not keeping themselves fit, and the players that are not so talented are the fit ones.
Here's Ashwin, and this one Paul's playing straight back to him. There's no run, and that is the end of Ashwin's over. After 9 overs, the West Indies 67 for 4. Hetmeyer 1, Powell 11. Big wicket for India, getting Puran in that over.
Huge wicket there for the Indians. They must feel a little bit more comfortable now because after 9 overs, the required run rate, well, the current run rate is just about 7, so it's gone back down to 7. It was 8 before this over, but Ashwin, very good over, just 2 runs coming from it. But more importantly, he picked up the wicket of Nicholas Puran, and that certainly has set the West Indies back.
Yes, it certainly will. Interesting point you made about the players, the talented players being fit. Sometimes we tend to feel that if you have talent, that will carry you through, but the hard training that has to go with it. And players who don't have the similar ability, they really maximize on their talent by training harder.
That's a fact, you look at that and you say you say to yourself, well, why does the talented players not keep themselves fit? Because they've got so much talent. India now going on the attack. They're looking to pick up wickets.
Yeah, there's a leg gully in place and also a slip in place for Ravindra Jadeja. And Jadeja has had 2 overs, 1 for 18. And the left armer is in now. He's facing up to Shimron Hetmeyer, who is also left-handed. With those bright red shoes of his, he's facing up to Jadeja. And this one he's playing on the front foot, straight out towards that extra cover position, and there's no run. So just one fielder in the circle outside of that slip on the offside. Here's Jadeja again. He's into Hetmeyer, who's driving it out to that extra cover, and once again no run.
I'm just wondering about the match fitness as well of Hetmeyer. He hasn't played, as you rightly said, hasn't played cricket for a long while. And when you're not playing regularly, you tend to take a little while before you get going. We're looking at Jason Holder in the ODI, and in this game he's looked a shadow of himself, and I think the West Indies, so much depends on him to perform.
Yes, Jadeja into Hetmeyer, who's cutting this one straight out to deep, a cover point, and will get one. There's a deep backward square in place, and that one went so fast he had absolutely no chance. 71 for 4.
What a good shot. He waited on that and he played it very late. There is a man at that cover point, but one would say he's more backward than square, and Hetmeyer hit it in front of square. Really a good looking shot. That would give him a lot of confidence.
Certainly would against Ravi Jadeja, who's in now from the northern end again, and he's gone for the big shot straight through mid-wicket, just one this time. There's a fielder out on the boundary, so just one more to Shimron Hetmeyer. And I love those red shoes of his. I don't think you'll be wearing one of those, Colin.
No, I don't think. It's a little too colourful for me, unless of course it's a Carnival Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, no problem then. Not exactly a red shoe diary sort of shoes, but Hetmeyer is easily seen all the way around. Here is the Jadeja now round the wicket, and Powell didn't read that one, gets it out to backward point. There's no run, but certainly was fooled by that one.
I think it had a little bit more bounce than he anticipated. It really, a lot of purchase off the pitch and some bounce and turn.
Here's Jadeja again. This one again, he's not reading. Plays it out in front of him, gets a single, and the end of another good over from Jadeja. Got some purchase on that also. After 10 overs, the West Indies are 72 for 4. They are very, very far away from home here, Colin Murray. After some more comments from you, it's going to be Visham Lalman and it's going to be Vinod Mamcha.
Well, the West Indies 72 for 4 now after 10 overs. 73 for 4, sorry, after 10 overs. It's a long, long way to get to the total of 191. There's still 118 runs to get in 10 overs. But more importantly, they've lost 4 wickets. And if they've lost 4 wickets, it's going to be real problems. But here's Ashwin, he's going to continue. And Powell is hitting this straight back overhead, but down towards the man at long off. And they're going to go through for a single. So we are into over number 11. 74 for 4, Vinod Mamchan. A little bit slow in getting into his position, but then again, he's not a small man. He takes a little while, you know. Yeah, par for the course with Vinod Mamchan. He takes a little while to get going. When he does get going, though, he's really a jolly old campaigner, isn't he? Well, Vinod, you'll carry on as Ashwin is bowling.
Here's Ashwin from the southern end. He's into Hetmeyer. He's driving down the ground. That's a massive hit. It goes all the way for 6. So, as Colin Murray goes, I'm now joined by Rishi Chabra. He's the man in charge of the Bharat Army. And he's telling me, before I bring him on, he's telling me he was in the party stand here, but the heat was too much for him. He said he can only party with Trinidadians for an hour. Good afternoon, Rishi. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. What has been your experience so far?
Brilliant. And first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. You know, first time in the Caribbean, and I'm loving it. The party atmosphere, the cricket, the crowd. A brilliant host, I have to say that.
Well, the guy behind you, Colin Murray, was instrumental in bringing party to cricket. Hetmeyer slashes at this, misses outside the off stump. 80 for 4. He was the man that brought the Carib Gills on. And I know you have been in the party stand. What's the atmosphere like down there?
Buzzing. You know, the moment we entered the stadium, it was electrifying, you know, with so many people in there, with the music on, you know, people enjoying. I think cricket is not just a game anymore, but it's like a party, especially with the T20s on. Hetmeyer plays this one just behind square. He gets one more. Sharon Hetmeyer goes on now to 13. It's 81 for the loss of 4. We're speaking with Rishi Chabra. He's the man in charge of the Bharat Army. And also, he's the media officer in Jharkhand. When you go down to Ranchi to visit Mahendra Singh Dhoni, be sure to call on Rishi and you will be well taken care of. Here is a delivery that's played just for out of square by Rovman Powell. He gets 1. That takes the score to 82 for 4. So, when you look at Trinidad and Tobago, you see a lot of similarities to your home country? I do, because you know, when I was interacting with a lot of fans over there in the party stand, first of all, they knew the language Hindi. They could, you know, relate to the culture over there. And we when we go back to the West Indies and Indian culture, we, you know, see so many similarities. And with the cricket coming here, I think sports has always been a big, you know, influence when bringing two countries together.
It has outside the off stump. Hetmeyer fields to make connection. It's the end of the over, the end of 11. The latest score here at the Brown Cricket Academy is 82 for 4. We have on with us Rishi Chabra from the Bharat Army. He's also a media officer attached to the BCCI, and he could be found down in Ranchi. I've been to Ranchi once. I did enjoy myself, and the fans there, oh my God, they really love the game.
Absolutely, you know, MS Dhoni's hometown. He's brought so much glory to the country, to the people there. He's won everything that he can, and we take a lot of pride when we say that we are from his hometown, Ranchi. So he's got that state and the city on the map, world map now, thanks to him.
And from here, where do you go? Are you going to St. Kitts?
St. Kitts, yes. Really looking forward, because I've heard so much good things about that city, especially from my friends in the Bharat Army who've traveled here in the past. They have some amazing stories to tell me, so I'm really looking forward to this trip.
Well, here is a delivery that's... Bowled him! That one slipped through, it slid through, and Bishnoi brings a smile to the face of Chabra, who is on commentary with me. It's now 82 for 5. Lovely delivery.
Absolutely, and I think the Indian bowling department has done really well restricting West Indies 82 for 5 in almost 12 overs. I think this game is now for theirs to win. So
yeah, the Indians are on top, and Bishnoi bowling a delivery there. That was the wrong one, and off the back foot. Powell looking to force this away. He goes for 14. Akil Hussain comes in, a number of all-rounders in the West Indies lineup. So they'll be depending on them. There are some Indian fans on the southern part of the ground. They're having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, T20 is a lot of cricket, a lot of partying, and when it comes together, it's a brilliant atmosphere.
Well, your good friend there, he told me that you all can only keep up with the tempo for an hour.
Yeah, I mean, with the heat and everything, like especially coming from India, where the winter season starts now, I think it was really amazing. But yeah, with the cricket on, and like I said, with the party stand there, the atmosphere was so high that you never felt that the heat is on and everything. But
well, Rishi, we want to thank you for spending a couple of minutes with us here on the commentary, Cricket 360's production of this match. We look forward to seeing you. We want to wish you all the best on your continued journey in the Caribbean.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having to speak on this game with you. Thank you so much.
Well, that was Rishi Chabra. We want to thank him for being with us. Up next is Visham Lalman. The score is 82 for 5. Rishi is just having a walk around. He and his crew is about 10 of them. They're having a walk around here at the Brownlow Cricket Academy, and they're really having a good time. They're having as good a time as their cricketers in India, who are well on top in this match. Here's Bishnoi from the media centre, and he's up to the wicket, bowls, and Hussain is beaten. This one going across him, and he pushes forward. The score is 82 for 5. This is over number 12. As I say, good afternoon to a well-fed Visham Lalman.
Good afternoon, Vinod. Good afternoon. Yes, certainly. Had a good lunch. Pilau.
It was excellent. Local fare. So the CWI really coming good here, treating the media excellently. This is again another wrong one. It goes past backward point, but it can't get more than one. That was wide there from Bishnoi. Score 83 for 5. Apart from the guys in the rhythm section, I think the West Indian crowd, they've gone very, very quiet.
Yeah, certainly 83 for 5. It's not a good position for the West Indians. It's a horrible position to be in at the moment. Chasing 191, losing early wickets. That has fueled them to be in this position. 3 in the power play.
Yes, Bishnoi is short. Hetmyer is back, forces it through the offside. Down to Ashdeep Singh. He's only going to get one. Hetmyer goes on now to 14. The score is 84 for 5.
We saw Rovman Powell being bowled by Ravi Bishnoi early in the over, and we've seen Rovman Powell had his problems playing leg spinners right here at the Brownlow Cricket Academy for the Jamaica Tallowers. He was a part of a hat-trick for Rashid Khan, and again falling to a leg spinner here today.
There's Bishnoi, arms pumping, driving this time by Hussain. That's one more down to long off. Ashdeep Singh comes into the field. Singh has been here since the beginning of the ODI series. Didn't get a look in. But what a wicket to get today, as the Myers really took off.
Yeah, and he was very disappointed with the way he got out. He didn't go through with his pull shot. Just spooned the catch to short mid-wicket.
Oh, he's beaten. All ends up. In fact, he's out stumped, is he? He's on his knees.
Well, it doesn't look as though he's out.
Yep, he is. So he's leaving.
Well.
Wow. What a delivery. That was the ball of the match. Well, in fact, he went down. He's having a word. It seems he's still there. Yeah. Oh, what a ball. What a delivery there from Bishnoi. He has now 1 for 3 after 1 over. Bhuveshwar Kumar 1 for 11. Ashdeep Singh 1 for 16. And Ashwin 1 for 21. Yeah. The men dismissed so far. Brooks 20, Puran 18, Myers 15. You also had Rovman Powell, who got 14. India now is Akil Hussain, who has shown his prowess with the bat previously. And he is there with Shimron Hetmeyer. I tell you something, that did not look pretty, that last delivery.
It was an excellent delivery from Ravi Bishnoi. It was the googly again. Well, about 5 googlies in that over.
So here is the carom ball master, Ashwin, around the wicket. And played back there by Hussain. There is no run. So the rain has kept away from this beautiful venue. It's a lovely day for cricket in the Southland. Tossed up. Hussain is just forward. Gets one down to a long off. And that takes the score along to 86 for 5.
Yesterday there was a lot of rain in South and North Trinidad. And I'm sure everyone were hoping that today the weather would have been good. And it certainly held up nicely for this keenly contested match here between West Indies and India.
Samis has played away down to a short third man. There is no run. Kumar is there. So a lot depending on Shimron Hetmeyer back in West Indian colours. And this 5-match series takes on tremendous proportions for the West Indies. With the World Cup coming up in October in Australia. Sammy's backing away, crashing it through the offside. He's in trouble. And Hetmeyer goes. He's out caught at a wide-ish long off. He backed away to create room. Just was not in control. The West Indies are 86 now for 6 as Hetmeyer has to leave the park for 14.
Yeah, well, Ashwin picks up his second wicket, and what 2 wickets to get. Nicholas Pooran and Shimron Hetmeyer, 2 of the bright young talents in the West Indies. Hetmeyer looking to make room. It was a straightish delivery, but Ashwin pitching that one right up there. Hetmeyer unable to get under it to get that distance and that height as he would like, and he was able to find the fielder on the boundary. So that's a big wicket for the Indians. Falling away now is the West Indies.
Well, Odin Smith goes in there, the man better known as Fishhead. Let's see what he brings to the party. Hetmeyer had some advice for him. So the West Indies really up against it here.
Well, I would assume the West Indies changing their plans a bit with the fall of wickets at the top, because Odin Smith, he was spotted up quite early. He was spotted up after the fall of the very first wicket of Mayers. And they would have wanted to send him in as a pinch hitter, but now their plans have changed because of the fall of wickets. And now he's in. Can strike the ball a mile, Odin Smith, if he gets off.
And this is good captaincy here by Sharma. He's putting pressure on the left-handed Hussain. He's just come in. 86 for 6. He's putting a first slip in place. Hussain is forward, drives. There's no run at cover.
Yeah, so Ashwin has kept things very quiet for the West Indies.
He's again around the wicket. Hussain comes forward. That one takes the in half of the bat. Goes just forward of square. And again, no run. It's the end of the over. At the end of over number 13, the West Indies are 86 for 6.
Well, looking at Odin Smith's career against spinners, the way he's batted against spinners, he's not known for his batting that much, but he can strike the ball. He's known for his all-round abilities, and in the 11 innings that he's batted spinners, he's only just scored 64 runs, averaging at 12.8, and he has a strike rate of 7.68 against spinners.
Well, the West Indies team, they have batting right down to number 11. And when people say that, I always make the remark, if the better batsman in front couldn't do it, do you expect those coming down towards the end to do it? We will see. The big crowd on hand here at the Brown Cricket Academy will be hoping for that. This is a massive crowd on hand here in South Trinidad. And it's going to be Odin Smith to take strike. He's going to face his first delivery. And it's not going to be an easy task because it's Bishnoi who is bowling to him.
They would have threatened the Indians very early with that onslaught from Kyle Mayers and Shamar Brooks. But now the Indians have settled into the Brown Cricket Academy nicely.
There's Bishnoi, he's in and he's back. Smith works it away down behind square. There is no run.
Odin Smith just playing that one just around the front pad there. And just looking at that dismissal of Rovman Powell again, it was a googly that went all through him. And he was looking to turn that similar shot, which we were seeing here from Odin Smith. If he misses it, could be some problems. But he needs to look at that shot.
Here's Bishnoi down the track. He's out stumped. Smith looking to hit that somewhere in the vicinity of Tabakit. His head was in the air. The ball slipped past, and Bishnoi is making a mockery of the West Indies batting lineup here. It's now 86 for 7.
Utter destruction from the Indians. I can't understand where did that shot come from Odin Smith. He was down the pitch. He was nowhere to the pitch of the delivery. Another googly from Ravi Bishnoi, who picks up his second wicket. And Odin Smith, he has to go back. They'll be happy to see the back of Odin Smith for a duck. He makes way now for Kemo Paul. Another good all-rounder here, you have to say, for the West Indies. But I think it's too much for these lower-order batsmen to do.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of runs still required, 105. And some of the fans are actually leaving. Oh. Well. They're probably trying to get out of the traffic here.
Well, you have to feel it for the fans that have just come into the stadium.
Yeah, a number of them reached probably around lunchtime because of the fact that there was a massive traffic pile up to get in.
Yeah.
So a number of the fans are leaving.
Yeah,
That's not a good sign. Here's Bishnoi. Down the track, first delivery there was Paul. Pushes it back on the onside, and there is no run.
Yeah, just cramping Kemo Paul there. He's looking to use his feet to negate whatever spin on offer there may be from Ravi Bishnoi. And Bishnoi firing in that one into the legs of Kemo Paul.
Here's Bishnoi again. He comes in. This is short. Pulled away. Down behind square. All he'll get is one. Kemo Paul. Another one who can hit the ball a mile.
A premeditated shot there from Kemo Paul, you have to say. He was looking to sweep that very early. He was into position. Then he had to readjust his shot because it was a shortish delivery from Ravi Bishnoi. You have to say it's good variation as well. Good adjustment from the bowler.
And I see your technical guru, Kailash, has fallen asleep with this performance by the West Indies with the bat. One hopes all regional stations are up and running. Well, Kailash has gone to sleep. He's taking a nice cut. He visited the barber.
I need to ask Kailash, where did he go to get that one?
Yes, I think he needs to go back and collect his change. Yeah, it's Bishnoi. He's in now, and Hussein is driving. Misses all, ends up through to the wicket keeper.
A good opportunity for Hussein and Kemo Paul, to showcase their talents here against the mighty Indians. And it may just be too much for them, as we said, but, they can look to fight, and fight well for the West Indians. Not be dismissed, not go all out here, at the Brandlar Cricket Academy in the very first international game. And looks to be a free hit, a belated call for no ball.
Yes. So let's see if this opportunity as a free hit could get Hussein going. Well, that should be called a wide, so the free hit is still in effect.
Yeah,
for the free hit, there's a deep backward square on the boundary, mid wicket on the boundary, long on. Of course, a long off cover on the boundary. 3 men on the offside in a ring, as well as a first slip. Here's Bishnoi. The Hussein, he's hitting, he's striking this well, and that's 6 runs. That is how you deal with a free hit. Driving it over long off for 6. That brings a roar from the fans here at the Lara Stadium.
Yeah, top shot from Akil Hussein. He kept his head still. He just leant into it, not looking to overhit the ball, helping it over the ropes for a nice looking 6. Just in front of the northwestern stand, Ravi Bishnoi pitching that one in the arc, and was certainly sent out of the park.
He's again. This is worked away just to the right of Bishnoi. Gets one. Again, Bishnoi has been operating with exclusively with googlies. Reminds me so much of South African leg spinner Imran Tahir.
Yeah, and even against the left-hander Akhil Hussain, he came around the wicket and he was still able to get the pitch those googly in good areas. So that's a good move from Ravi Bishnoi. That's another good over comes to an end from him. And the bowling for India, 2 for 13 in 2 overs for Ravi Bishnoi, 2 for 22 in his quota for Ravi Chandran Ashwin. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, 1 for 11 in 2. Ashdeep Singh, 1 for 16 in 2. Brooks, the top scorer for the West Indies with 20 or 15. Nicholas Pooran had 18, Kyle Mayers 15, and Shimron Hetmeyer 14.
It's going to be Pandya. 10 came off his first over. He's coming up from the southern end, Hardik Pandya. Didn't do much with the bat today. Driving down the ground. 1 out to Hussain. Brings ball into strike now. 97 for 7.
Well, Hardik Pandya and Ravi Jadeja coming into this game with 2 strikes away from 50 T20 international wickets. Jadeja already having 1 in this game, so he'd have went up to the 49 T20 international wickets. So maybe if Hardik Pandya can close things off here for the Indians, he can go past 50 T20 international wickets. Who knows?
So they're asking Paul to try to play through the offside. The 4 fielders in the ring. Of course, cover is on the boundary. Yeah, he is, and Paul advances, looking to pull that some way through mid-wicket, and he's struck just in the chest section. He's winded, and he's down.
Yeah, he's not looking in good condition there, Kimo Paul. He's down on his knees maybe, and he just struck. Maybe in the helmet here.
No, just under the arm. Just under the arm. On the right
again.
side. Look at it.
Yes.
So, he's down for the count. One hopes that he'll be okay. It's 97 for 7.
It's a good gesture though from Hardik Pandya going up to him, and patting him on the back. But Kimo Paul, he's up now. The physio is out there with him. And Pandya is still there having a word with him. It's good to see Hardik Pandya. He's that kind of guy. Gives the Indians a chance as well to just rest a bit. Ashdeep Singh is in conversation with Rishabh Pant. There's the trio of Ravi Chandran Ashwin, DK, Dinesh Karthik, and Rohit Sharma as well in conversation. Kimo Paul is up and ready to go once more. He's getting back the helmet on. And Dominic Dummy Drakes is out there with 3 bats as well. Looks to be Akhil Hussain's sticks. Maybe Akhil Hussain looking for a change of stick. Who knows? Maybe this would wake up Kimo Paul just a bit.
Let's see if that gets Paul going. 97 for 7. The crowd here crying out for some West Indian action.
Sounds of chutney and soca music in the stands.
Outside the off stump, played away, down behind square. That's 1. So he goes on now to 98.
Yes, this is what Hardik Pandya does. He hits a hard length. And Kimo Paul just getting inside of the line of it. Not looking to, just turning it around the corner, and picks up 1. So Akhil Hussain has already struck a maximum in this innings. He's on 11. 11 off 10. He's not someone who hangs around Akhil Hussain, but he can do that if you need him to.
It's Pandya. Up to the wicket now, bowls. That's a bad delivery down the leg side, and in fact, the umpire has not signaled that a wide. Did that go over the leg stump?
Oh, you have to have a look at that.
Let's have a look.
Very short delivery, was a slower ball bouncer as well from Hardik Pandya. And the umpire just signaled one for the over.
Well, we did not have the benefit of that replay. So when it's pushed away down to backward point, there is no run. Hussain is on 11, 2 to Paul. The West Indies need a 93 from 31 balls. Take something completely amazing here to get up to that.
I think if they had a couple more wickets in hand, they could have fancied themselves to get that. And Hussain is driving outside the off stump and he misses out. A foolish delivery there from Hardik Pandya to complete the 15th over. At the end of 15, it's 98 for 7. West Indies need another 93 runs of 30 balls. Hardik Pandya finishes with 12 runs in his 2 overs. And Rishabh Pant at the end of the over breaking the stumps. They're keeping away of the situation, but luckily Akhil Hussain, not out of his crease, is back in time. Bishnois look to continue from the northern end here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. And why not? He's done superbly well.
So 5 overs to go. Paul has dispensed with his helmet. He's going to face Bishnoi. Here he is. He's again playing back, looking to whip this through the onside. It goes right through him. And immediately Bishnoi has asked his captain to probably put in a mid-on in place.
Yeah, that's sharp turn from Ravi Bishnoi. And I think Kimo Paul should look at that and maybe be on the front foot. You don't want to be playing back to those kind of deliveries from the leg spinner who's on a roll at the moment.
So there's a short mid-on put in place for that uppish drive of the back foot. Yes, Bishnoi is into Paul. Paul is back looking to pull and misses, all ends up.
That would have passed very close to the stump there. Paul making a lot of room and looking to take that delivery from outside the off stump and pull it away on the outside. But it was turning in as well.
Down the leg side, looking to pull. Crashes into the pad. So, Paul has not been able to get him away. 3 deliveries so far. In over number 16, it's 98 for 7.
Required run rate 20.7 at the moment. I think the short fine leg is being sent back on the boundary now. Very wide fine leg fielder. And the cover point fielder was on the boundary, has been brought up inside the circle.
There's Bishnoi. Ball down the track, and is he stumped? Wide signal, but did he get back in time?
But the umpire is saying that he's going to have a look at that. The square leg umpire, that is.
So they've gone upstairs. Could Bishnoi get his 3rd? Did Paul get back? We wait to see. 98 for 7.
That's good work from Rishabh Pandu to get that one back onto the stumps because he was falling over as he was looking to collect.
Well, let's have a look. That one, Paul, the ball is in the wicket keeper's glove. And Paul is trying. He's trying. I think he's in. He's in.
Yeah, he grounded away in front the crease first and then he slid the bat in.
Again, for the umpteenth time, another googly there by Bishnoi. It was way down the leg side, so Pant had to fetch it.
Yeah, he did well.
In the interim, he was able to get back in there, Paul. Yeah, Kimo Paul. Just getting in by the skin of his teeth and his bat skin as well.
Yeah, I think it was a a fight between the keeper and the batsman there to get back who hit the stumps or who got back in the crease first.
Paul is now retaking his guard. It seems to be an off-stump guard, which is so popular now with these batsmen in T20 cricket.
Ravi Bishnoi has really bowled a good spell here for the Indians. 2 for 14 and 2.3. Of course, born in Jodhpur, Rajasthan.
Jodhpur, have you ever been to Jodhpur?
You keep asking me if I've been to these places, but I've not been there.
Have you been to Tobago, Vishal?
Well, yes, I have been there.
You got it, finally. To the Sid Gray Stadium in Tobago?
Of course, of course.
Great.
Lovely place.
It's going to be Bishnoi, and there seems to be some sort of movement in front of the side screen. Yes, Bishnoi. And Paul is again looking to swing this somewhere on the onside. Sharma has his hands on his head. And there's an appeal for a stumping yet again. Refer's going upstairs. It's 99 for 7. Let's see. Someone needs to take a bat out there for Paul. He seems to be using a donut.
Akil Hussain as well wasn't too happy with what he's seeing from Kimo Paul. Immediately went down to have a chat with him.
So let's have a look. Well, we're waiting for the decision from upstairs. So with this game winding down towards the end. Now let's remember that so the ball is in the keeper's hands now. We're looking at the replay and there is a part of the boot that is behind the line. So I think he's again safe.
Yeah, he gave up Paul. He will live to fight another day. But good work again from Rishabh Pant to whip off the bails in a flash.
So at the moment, the umpire is going to get the signal from upstairs that it's not out. 99 for 7. What a performance by the Indians here. Another sad day for West Indies cricket.
Yeah, and wrecking havoc is Ravi Bishnoi. Ravi Bishnoi, 21 years of age. And he's burst onto the scene here in international cricket.
Here's Bishnoi. Ball is back and again he's struggling. Well.
Doesn't look comfortable against the leg spinner at all here, Kimo Paul.
It's as if Bishnoi is bowling bombs. The first of 5 T20 Internationals. The next 2 will be played in St. Kitts. And then the final 2 at the Central Broward Regional Park. There he is now, and this time he's back. Bangs this away, overshot mid-on. It goes down to cow corner, and that is 1. That's the 100. And the crowd, you feel it for them. They're cheering the 100. 100 for 7, and that's the end of the over. Paul is asking for a bat.
Yeah, he hasn't connected with many. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure why he is calling for a bat, but he's edged a couple as well, so maybe the edge have been broken off. But the fans are enjoying that 100 that has just come up. And the last ball that was played there, officially on the onside, Rohit Sharma was placed there for that. And very interestingly, didn't go to hand. It was just played above his head. Arshdeep Singh is coming back into the attack.
So it's going to be Arshdeep Singh from the far end. Any guess as to where Arshdeep Singh is from, Vishal?
Well, maybe Punjab, but we'll have to check that.
Well, I think he's from India.
Well, he's from Madhya Pradesh, Guna in Madhya Pradesh. 23 years of age, Arshdeep Singh.
So he's going to come over the wicket here now to the right-handed Paul. Remember, Paul has changed his bat. Yeah, he is now. That's pitched right up. Now, this is very strange. Paul is getting a sight of him only at the very last moment. Look at his run. He's hiding behind the umpire and he's just emerging. Now, Reefer is a short man, so thankfully that he's a short man, so Paul can see the padka that is on his head as he's running in. Look at it. He starts by the gold medal sign. Thanks to Gold Medal for sponsoring this series. And here he is. He approaches. A short, slower ball bumper. He had to fetch it there, Paul. Gets one down to the backward square. It's now 101 for 7.
He just had to wait on that delivery. Yeah, it's very difficult to sight the ball from Ashdeep Singh with him just approaching at the very last second, coming into the visibility of that man, Kimo Paul. But something as well to look at. The umpire is having a word with Rohit Sharma. He's had a word with Rohit Sharma on 3 occasions in this innings already. Looks to be the over rate of the Indians. The signal from the umpire looks as though he's telling him to get it a bit quicker.
So Ashdeep Singh is now going to bowl to the left-handed Hussain. We saw what he did for Queen's Park against Spurgeon in the domestic T20 finals. He needs to do it again here. He's bowling! A beautiful Yorker there by the man from Madhya Pradesh. And it's now 101 for 8.
Yeah, right up into the block hole. Something, you know, you would have thought that's disappeared from the game. The good old Yorker in the depth. What a delivery there from Ashdeep Singh. There's nothing Akhil Hussain could have done with that. He couldn't have maneuvered that ball anywhere outside the square. And well, right up there. And the middle stump went back.
A Yorker reminiscent of the days of Joel the Big Bird Garner and the Curtly Elcon Linwall Ambrose.
As soon as you were asking what Akhil Hussain and saying what he can do, he had to depart. So India on the verge of bowling the West Indies team out now. Just 2 wickets again to go.
This is not a good showing by the West Indies team here. And then the mass of fans will be disappointed in them. They've come out here today and they've shown up in their numbers. Hardly any room here at the Brown Cricket Academy. It's a ground where you could never really figure out the attendance because of the fact that a number of fans tend to lay back where the concession booths are to buy water, blue waters to be exact. So you can't really see it. And it's very hot today. I was told it's very, very hot.
Yeah, and you can see a number of empty seats, but those could be filled up by the persons at the concessions.
Yeah, Singh, and that's right up again. Worked away by Alzari Joseph, down to long on for 1.
Some of them coming out of the sun as well, to the front of those stands there on the northwestern, northeastern, and the southwestern and southeastern stands as well. But I think the persons at the party stand doesn't care about the sun.
Well, I don't think at this point in time, if you ask them who are playing, they may say South Africa and West Indies. So it's going to be Ashdeep Singh from the far end. And you look to the right of us on the scoreboard, a very sorry sight before, just in front of the apple trees. It's 102 for 8. Here is Singh, he's in now, and this is worked away, just a short fine leg. That's 1. The Idli man feels that's Ashwin.
Yeah, if he collected that cleanly, he could have issued a run out there, Ravichandran Ashwin. Joseph was struggling to get to the other end. You can't count Joseph out as well. He's a good batsman as well, as much as he's good with the ball. Just a wide long on and a long off, a straightish long off. 4 fielders on the onside.
Worked away, true mid wicket. They take 1. That's all Paul will get. 105 now for 8. It brings the over to an end. Ashdeep Singh, 3 overs, 2 for 20. Bishnoi has 2 for 15 off 3. And the latest score in South Trinidad, West Indies chasing 191. They are 104 for 8.
Yeah, Myers went for 15 right atop. He was caught by Bhuvaneshwar Kumar of the bowling of Ashdeep Singh. Shamar Brooks, he went by Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, bowled for 20. Jason Holder, he went for a duck, bowled by Ravi Jadeja. And Nicholas Puran, the captain, he went caught by Rishabh Pant, the wicketkeeper of the bowling of Ravi Chandran Ashwin for 18. Rahman Paul went to Bishnoi bowled. Shimron Hetmaya, he was caught by Yadav of the bowling of Ravi Chandran Ashwin for 14. Akhil Hussain, he was bowled in the last over by Ashdeep Singh for 11. And Melodian Smith, he went for a duck as well, stopped by Pant of the bowling of Bishnoi.
So here is Ravindra Jadeja, and that's a delivery that worked away on the onside. Jadeja does his own fielding.
Look at the difference in the extras from the West Indies and the Indians. Just 5 extras bowled by the Indians. The West Indians bowled 17 of them.
That in itself is a story. So it's going to be Jadeja round the wicket. Let's see what he serves up. He's a restaurant owner. So let's see what he serves up. Short and wide, driving down the ground. There's Alzari Joseph. In fact, it was Paul.
Yeah, so this is what he normally does, Jadeja, bowling flat and hard. Doesn't give the ball that much air.
Played away back on the offside. No run. So the West Indies, I think, they're trying at this point in time just not to be bowled out.
Yeah, and Ashdeep Singh is being moved from that short fine leg region into a short mid-wicket position. The deep backward square leg comes around a bit straighter.
This time going across the off stump, looking to hit this away. Makes no contact.
Getting out the long levers there, Alzari Joseph.
Down the track, driving straight to cover. There is no run. He looked good in coming down the track and driving there. There is no run.
Yeah, he's a good batsman, and just Obed McCoy to follow after the fall of the next wicket.
Again, no run. Good bowling here by Jadu. It's the end of the over. At the end of it, the West Indies continue to struggle here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. They are 107 for 8.
I think Rohit Sharma, they just forced a bit, to bring in the spinners there. Jadeja coming back and bowling quickly, of course, to get that over rate a bit up as well. But he did well there, Ravindra Jadeja. And in his 4 overs, just 1 for 26. So he completes his spell. He'll remain on 49 T20 International wickets. He won't go past the 50 in this game. And Ashdeep Singh would look to finish his spell now.
Like I say, good afternoon to the Cricket 360 social media crew. They have been in and around the ground doing their work. The response has been great, we are told. Here is Ashdeep Singh. He comes in a bowl whipped away down through square leg. He's going to get 1. Down to mid-wicket, in fact. 107 for 8. Are you part of that setup, Mr. Lalman?
I am. I did some interviews this morning, which was very enjoyable.
I want to say good afternoon to one of our listeners, and that's Dr. Nilesh Mehta. He was a part of our commentary team. He has gone back to Chicago to keep a fundraiser for one of India's former cricketers, Farooq Engineer, and he told me he was able to engineer a lot of funds. This is around the wicket he comes, and it hits him on the pad, down the leg side. It goes down to a backward point where they take a leg by.
Ashdeep Singh was interested for just a short while there, but that's certainly going down the leg side. There's a full delivery on the pads that Joseph wasn't able to put away. Not going anywhere, the innings of the West Indies. As though it's hit a standstill at the moment, this innings.
Well, Ashdeep Singh has a tremendously long run up. It's as if he's running from Marine Drive in Mumbai to Madhya Pradesh. Look at him, he's still running, by the way. He goes past the umpire now, bowls, and that's a bouncer. Let's look at the umpire. He signals 1 for the over. Paul, just keeping out of harm's way.
They've really been on target here. Even the short deliveries from the Indians have been on spot. A number of short deliveries being signaled wide in the first innings of the West Indies.
I was told that Sunil Narayan has an interest in representing the West Indies again. So I think he may be looked at coming up as the West Indies try to find that formula, that right formula to go to the World Cup in Australia. Remember, there's a playoff before they get into the main event. Played away on the onside. Ashdeep Singh fields to his own bowling. So at the moment, it's 108 now for 8. I think the West Indies, they also need to work their issues out with Evan Lewis. They need to get him back in the mix.
Yeah, I think he can really add some substance atop the order, which he's known for. And that can really assist them in that T20 World Cup. They'll need to play some games prior to that as well.
Well, the way things are going with this team heading towards the World Cup, they may want to have a conversation with Isaac Alexander, Vivian Richards, see what he's up to these days. Around the wicket, outside the off stump, looking to drive. They get one to cover. That's one more. It's 110 now for 8.
I'm just looking at that required run rate, and then just 61.5. That's a daunting required run rate at the moment. It's well away from the West Indies. I think they can consider themselves out of this one now.
I think the only interest here for the local fans now is probably the rhythm section in the party stand. Singh bowls. This is worked away down to long on for 1. And it's the end of a good spell there from Ashley Singh. 2 for 23, 2 for 24 of his 4 overs. And the score is Nelson at the end of over number 19, 111 for 8.
Yeah, and that's been the hallmark of the Indian, bowling lineup. Keeping it very economical, and that has brought about wickets as well for them. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar starting things off 1 for 11 in 2. He started off with an 11-run over. That tells me that his second over was a maiden wicket over. Arshdeep Singh 4 overs, 2 for 24. Ravindra Jadeja 1 for 26 in 4. Ravi Chandran Ashwin 2 for 22 in his 4. Hardik Pandya none for 12 in 2. And Ravi Bishnoi, who's going to finish things off for the Indians, 2 for 15 in 3.
So the final over to be bowled by Bishnoi. Here he is. Short, pulled away, down behind square for 4. Well, we haven't seen a boundary for quite a while. It's 115 for 8. And you have to feel it for the West Indian fans. They're cheering lustily with that 4. Or is it ironic?
Well, I think, they're still interested in what they can do in the final over here. And Kemo Paul striking a boundary, a welcome one for the West Indians. He finally gets one off. He was trying on a number of occasions in the last couple of overs. He wasn't able to do so. A bit late now.
Yes, Bishnoi is bowling, and it's just slogged away. One bounce into the boundary for 4. So 2 boundaries of 2 balls. Ball giving back a little bit.
Yeah, and the West Indies fans getting something to enjoy. And at the back end of the innings, Bishnoi being taken for 2 consecutive boundaries now. That won't bother him at all.
Again, tucked away down behind square. Protection there. Only 1. So Paul goes on now to 18. It's 120 for 8. West Indies 70 runs short of India's total of 190. So Coach Phil Simmons will have to go back to the drawing board. Tucked away. Joseph gets 1. The West Indies are going down to a heavy defeat, but there are some positives you can still take from it. The bowling of Obed McCoy. And I think they need to look at him in the longer format, which is the 50 over as well. Look at Akil Hussain coming back into form, 1 for 14 or 4 overs as well.
Yeah, and you have to applaud Obed McCoy for the way he's bowled. Exceptional in that first innings. Akil Hussain as well. And Akil Hussain coming into this game has had an economy rate in the power play of 9.2, the worst in that phase among any bowler.
There's Bishnoi in and looking to go through the offside. He goes through the on, and that's 1 more. So the crowd starting to make their way out here. Just a few deliveries. In fact, 1 delivery to go. Some are still sitting, probably wondering what went wrong. 122 for 8. down the leg side and through to the wicketkeeper. It's the end of the game. The West Indies going down by 68 runs here to India. The Indians have taken a 1-0 lead in the 5-match series. And what a performance by the visitors in this game.
Yeah, what a magnificent performance by the Indians, you have to say. And India have now won their 14th T20 International game against the West Indians. And the first played here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. What a moment for everyone here in South Trinidad. Despite it's not a West Indian victory, but certainly the Indians, I think you really have to applaud their performance.
Yeah, it has been a great day for the fans here. Although the West Indies team lost the game, I don't think they really expected them to win, but they at least would have expected them to be competitive here against a powerful Indian unit. But having said that, cricket, the first international match comes to South Trinidad, and the West Indies would have liked to have actually won that. That is one piece of history you could never change. The first game at Brian Lara Cricket Academy, the West Indies have gone down to India. So India will be the team to have taken a victory. The first team to win an international match at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy is now India. I think the West Indies team would have liked to have paid tribute to the great man who this venue is named after, Brian Charles Lara, by winning, but they didn't. And they have to lick their wounds. They have to go back to the drawing board, see where they went wrong, and look to come back strong again.
Yeah, they have to, with the World Cup coming up. This is a preparatory series for them, you have to say. So I think they'd want to do well. They'd want to find the bright spots, find the bright talents that they'd want to pick for that World Cup that may be vying for a spot. So I think the West Indies needs to correct that quickly. It's a quick turnaround, going over to St. Kitts now and then Florida. It's quick turnaround between the games, so they need to do that quickly.
Let's run through the West Indies innings. Myers had 15, Brooks 20. Of 15 balls. The opener started well. Holder didn't score. Puran 18, Rovman Powell 14, Shemron Meyer 14, 11 to Hussein. Smith didn't score. Kiwo Paul 19 not out. Alzari Joseph, he was on 5 not out. Extra 6, 122 for 8. The bowling, Kumar 2 overs 1 maiden, 1 for 11. Ashdeep Singh 4 overs no maidens, 2 for 24. Ravindra Jadeja 4 overs no maidens, 1 for 26. Ravichandran Ashwin 4 overs no maidens, 2 for 22. Hardik Pandya 2 overs none for 12. And Ravi Bishnoi, he was excellent, 4 overs no maidens, 2 for 26. Well, that has been our coverage here of this opening T20 international game at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. The Indian fans who are here, they are jubilant at the moment, and knowing Trinidadians, as I said before, the weekend started yesterday. They're in the middle of the weekend now, so they're going to stay here, they're going to fet, they're going to lime, and they're going to enjoy themselves because they've come out for a day of cricket, a day of entertainment, and this is something that they're not going to let pass them. On behalf of everyone from the Cricket 360 production team, this is Vinod Mamchan wishing you goodbye.